6. And yes, we are open today for Easter. It's been a pretty good day here at the shop. We're going to drop our intro, see who hangs out with us. Let's talk a little Squatch and, yeah, some Dogman and Werewolf for a change. All right, dropping our intro silently as I gather my thoughts and pull up the monitor here. We got somebody in here. What up, Jonacide? What you up to on this Easter, bro? Hopefully you could hang out a little bit. Yeah, we're open here. We're actually going to stay open a little later than usual today also, as we kick off this live stream at 5 p.m. here. How you feeling, Jonacide? Hopefully feeling irie. Pulling up the monitor. Where are we? There we are. We're going to talk a little Bigfoot, bro, and a little Dogman Werewolf also, which is usually not our avenue, but hey, when it comes up, then why not discuss it? I'm full too many deviled eggs. Nice. Cheers to you, man. Let me fix these screens here. What up? Yeah, let's see who else gets notified. Probably a lot of people busy. It's been an interesting day here at the shop. There was a big wave in like the middle of the day, and it's calmed down now. There's Roger. What's up, Gustavo? We're going to hang out here for a little bit. I got bro watching my back, and we're ready to rock here. What is up? How's everyone feeling? What up? Is it Mickey or Mikey? I know I've been saying Mikey, but I heard someone say Mickey the other day. And I was like, uh-oh, what is it? Either way, welcome in. Hope everyone's feeling well. Yeah, I'm feeling nice. There goes the cops. Yeah, it's 85 today. I'll just give you the verbal forecast here. We hit the high of 85, but it was all murky. It was all murky, so-called overcast, whatever. We know what they're up to up there. Spraying all that stuff. Yeah, so we're going to get into some Bigfoot business. Let's kick it off. How are we going to kick it off? I think this is going to get interesting. So yesterday we did a live stream from the shop here as well. Check it out if you haven't. And we got into some animal attacks happening lately here. We showed a little toddler get sadly attacked by a coyote. And that coyote, I guess, apparently attacked another little boy about the same age here in Southern California. And we've been keeping up with some of the wildlife happenings out here. A lot of reporting on the news and stuff like that. And I share those news reels or articles whenever we can. And so, yeah, rattlesnakes have been on the news. There's been some fatalities out here. 5 bites, I believe, and that happened during a heat wave we had. And we'll go back to last year also. There's been some mountain lion attacks. There's been bear attacks. Recent one here in Monrovia, we reported on that one. A lady's leg got swiped. Mentioned that yesterday also. I guess she got clawed and they euthanized. It was a mother bear. So two cubs got left without their mom. And I mentioned community were really upset about that. And the other door, we got some customers in. The other door. We have 2 doors. One always stays locked. A lot of people try and use that one. And they get confused, but anyway, might have a little background sounds going on here, but we'll keep it going. Yeah. So what else? We hit the mountain lions, the bears, the rattlesnakes. There's even been some shark. I believe there's some possible shark attacks recently out here too. Yeah, it's crazy. Wildlife has been acting up, and it's been going on for quite a while. It seems like because last year there was a couple fatal bear attacks in the U.S. and they were like back to back. They were possibly thinking, we reported on it. They were thinking that they may have been tied, possibly because they happened like right after each other, and they were in neighboring states, if I'm not mistaken. Somehow they were trying to like tie it, but I don't think they officially did. One guy was on his riding lawnmower, if I'm not mistaken, and they say it was a small bear that came and pulled him off the lawnmower and dragged him and took him out. What up, Juanito? Good to see you, Area 51. Let's see. Did I hear about the documentary about? Yes, sir. We've been reporting on that, bro. Where you been at? And we're gonna talk about that a little bit coming up here as uh the YouTube channel Harryman Road, and I shared that in the post. We'll pull it up right now. Premiered another video today, and you know he's been a key figure with all of that happening, being one of the ones being able to watch the documentary, which we have been anxiously waiting to hear when the next. A whole lot, Area 51. So stay tuned to some of the information we're going to drop right now, and it's going to have to do with all this stuff. So mentioning a lot of wildlife attacking stuff. Some people might even blame CERN, and you know, but who knows why wildlife? Maybe is it more people just being around and cringing in their spaces? There's always that, you know, situation. Which yes, I could see that. But yeah, out here there's also been the fires. We've had the bear situations out here. People, you know, massive bears sleeping under people's houses up here in the foothills, and yeah, you know, the theory is that they got displaced due to the fires that we had not too long ago. So yeah, it, you know, depends, I guess, from region to region where you're at, why wildlife may be acting that way. But there's been a lot of mountain lion encounters as well out here in the Southland. A lot of sightings. We've talked about that bridge that they built. I forget what freeway it is, but it's an overpass over one of the highways out here for the mountain lions specifically, but it's for all wildlife. And hopefully the Squatch use it out here because they have cameras set up there now also, and there's a whole documentary on it. And what up, Paranormal Paw in the house? That's what's up. And then we got Garrow from Midwest Night Watchers. What's going on, y'all? Aloha, Finchster. Good to see you, brother. All right. Yeah, so talking wildlife attacks, and specifically out here, but just everywhere in general. I think the bear attacks were happening in Japan. Who remembers that? It was like a crazy streak of bear attacks happening all over the place. I think that was last year. And so it happens. And I could only imagine like places like Florida, Alaska, you know, where they have different types of wildlife, different dangers. And recently out here also in LA County, they they spotted the first wolf out here, which they say it's been about a century since the last wolves were documented in LA County. Now we know in Northern California they've been coming back, and there's been issues with cattle and stuff like that, you could imagine. And but yeah, there's several packs moving down south. I think now up in the Sierras there might be a particular pack out that way, but I know in Siskiyou County and neighboring counties there are starting to get the wolves. And what's up, Chiro Sounds? Glad you came through. Yeah, we're doing a little Easter stream. Hopefully, everyone had the day off and enjoyed the holiday. I didn't have the ain't no day off going on here. Ain't no holiday pay happening here. It's all to the good. So yeah, I had that in mind. We've been talking about this, and so last night on Jessica Jones' channel, very interesting show and pretty gruesome too. Had a really good investigator. I like the guy. Is it David Pardue? I believe it is, and I believe he still is BFRO or was BFRO investigator, which is very interesting. And she's had him on several times, so I'm very familiar with him. And yeah, salute to him. And yeah, they got into this case of this lady that was mauled in Oklahoma, and it was just like, oh, it was all bad. So prayers out to that lady and her family, because I know the husband is suffering from some ailments, some illnesses, possibly, I think, and needs some help. And then they have two daughters. I think their vehicles impounded as well. So I got into some of the because I got in my feed also, I got the newsreel. So I watched it again after the show. And when I jumped into the show, I had put in the chat when I was like right at that point when they were discussing showing the newsreel, I had hopped in, greeted everyone, and then yeah, mentioned because it was fresh on my mind that we had just shown the coyote attack on the kids. And so I was like, coyotes, I think I mentioned coyotes attacking or something like that, or coyotes attack. And then I got some feedback. I think it might have been Barton, and I know he carries a sword and stuff. And he was like, nope, it wasn't a coyote attack. And I think Gary Spikes, who hopefully might be jumping in here. What up, Poncho Zorch? And so yeah, no, I and I listened to the newsreel, and it is weird because I think the family at first thought that it was a dog, like a normal dog, and I guess they changed it to some unknown dog like creature, I believe the words were. And I was gonna pull up, I wasn't gonna play the newsreel, but I was gonna pull up the exact newsreel because I did dive into the comments, and the comments are off the hinges, folks. It's kind of the internet does what it does, and it's not nice sometimes. And so here, let me pull this up properly. Yeah, I don't even want to play it because just the lady was in bad condition, and I will be saying some special prayers. We'll send out some special prayers. I know the chat will keep that family in your prayers. And there is a GoFundMe, so we'll be taking a look at that. Yeah, so this is Fox, and it's out of, let's see here. Maybe I should have kept it small. Darn. Let's see. There it is. Fox 23 News Tulsa, for anyone wanting to look this up. And it's the unidentified animal attack leaves McAllister, mother fighting for life, father on dialysis. And down here, so I was getting into, and I think some of our folks, I think I noticed some of our people from YouTube even on here somewhere. But yeah, so they're waiting DNA test. The sheriff spoke. And if you're into this, type of stuff, it's just a warning because it's heavy duty. And but right here in the comments, people start commenting right away. Start seeing these Dogman comments, which is like, yeah, it's kind of tough, it sucks. But who knows, I don't think so. I haven't heard any evidence I'm thinking first thing that came to mind was, of course, coyote, a wolf. I don't know if they have them out in that way of Oklahoma, in those parts of Oklahoma. And what's up, Thin Lizzy? Good to see you. But yeah, there it is there if anyone wants to check that out. And we'll get into some good news, animal related there. As you can see, Big Bear Bald Eagle live. We got that ready to go too. There's some good news on that front. But yeah, so I personally feel at the moment like, yeah, I wouldn't jump out and say, Dogman or anything cryptid yet. But I know that those parts of Oklahoma, a lot of Bigfoot activity. So I've heard. And of course, Dogman and other strange stuff. Um, but yeah, maybe some of these people, maybe they live in the area, maybe have inside scoop on what's going on, maybe have information we haven't heard. But according to the newsreel, I think at the moment, it just could be maybe some sort of, the Texas gets, which is neighboring to Oklahoma, right? They have a lot of wild, exotic animals out that way, and yeah, so it makes me wonder. I wonder if it's just maybe some sort of, maybe it could be some sort of breed of dog that whoever witnessed it is not familiar with. And then I'm also wondering if maybe the animal left any tracks behind. Hopefully, it left something behind for authorities to be able to confirm what it is. Either way, it is scary, and yeah, to get more of the details, check this out. Maybe I'm gonna do some other diving into some other sources, see what else is being reported on this. Polly Rotterman, what's up? Hope you're well and hanging tight out there. Moon at Noon, good to see you. Yeah, what a surprise to see all of y'all hanging out here. Claro que sí, says Thin Lizzy. And so, yeah, it's a tough one. And would authorities tell us, if it were something that strange? As lately on the news, they've been reporting a lot of strange stuff. A lot of it could be psyop. A lot of it, who knows? The whole alien rash that we had. What is it? A couple years ago, and yeah, what was it? From Vegas to Peru to Miami. And I seen there was some recent, I believe it was on the Confessionals YouTube channel that they covered something recent about the Miami mall monsters, he was calling it over there, but the alien incident there. So yeah, there's been some other strange stuff on the news. A lot of it, of course, you could probably off the bat tell that maybe it's not real, like that Dogman being reported outside of Texas Zoo, remember, a couple years ago, several years ago, and they had a photo of that one, and that one just, I don't know, looked a little weird to me. Didn't look like looked a little more Muppet like, possibly, but again, who knows? And yeah, so I don't know if anyone does have more information on this. Please let me know. I'd like to know. And the Bigfoot Ohio flap made the news, national news, all over the place, and so that was interesting. That was some recent. You want to consider Bigfoot, Sasquatch a cryptid? That was on the news recently, but and of course all the UAP UFO stuff coming out. So a lot of stuff being put out there in the news, but again, who trusts the news these days? I do like to listen to it and see what they're putting out, but then yeah, then it goes through my filters and yeah, try to decipher what I can. And I know Shelly, good to see you. but yeah, it was a good show. It was a good thing to bring up. And yeah, let me know what you guys think out there, ladies and gents, guys and gals. Um, is it too soon to start jumping at Dogman and making claims like that? Um, yeah, it's very very weird. I think, regardless, it's just all these animals attacking everywhere. Y'all be safe being out in those areas. A lot of people don't know how to identify certain animals either, so that could be a thing. Misidentification too. It was brought up last night also, bears. When we talked about bears, and it was mentioned because I made a comment about the lady getting attacked by the bear out here. It was put on blast that I mentioned that it could have been a bear, and I didn't mean to say that. I was just saying that there was recent bear attacks and the coyote attacks. So I wanted to clear that up too. But yeah, no, good show. Check it out if you didn't. And a lot of strange stuff. What up, One's Art? Yo, y'all check out One's Art. He's the artist. I've shown a lot of his art. Hey, Steve, the homie One's Art's in the chat. The homie One's Art is in the chat. My brother says, "What's up, bro?" Yeah, the milkman. Time to start packing. What up, Jeff? Yeah, y'all check out One's Art. He's a local artist out of LA here, good friend of ours, and we've shown a lot of his art pieces. Y'all remember the Michael Myers with the knife? And then there's several of the pieces. There's been a skateboard I think he did, and you could all check that out on his channel, how he works. And one of LA's raddest graph artists for sure. Yeah, salute to you, brother. So yeah, we're getting into this strange talk here. Yeah, this has been on my mind. And then earlier today, over on Harryman Road, we're gonna hop on over to my channel because I shared over on the posts here. And there's a new video out by Harryman Road here, Eric Palacios. And we've been keeping up with, and I caught the end of the premiere, unfortunately, or fortunately. But I am a moderator over there, and I didn't get to catch the rest of it. And I'm sure it was getting heavy in there, but I'm sure he could handle it as well. I didn't see anyone else familiar in the chat when I had hopped in. Hopefully, there was some other moderators and things that didn't get out of too much control over there. But I did rewatch it, and very interesting stuff came up. And one of the things was like validating reports. He brought up websites as well, because we've been pulling up different databases online, and we've been saying our disclaimer about we don't know if these reports are real. We hope they are. We try to take notes of stuff. I think it's always good to take notes. Yeah, you never know if you're out in the field, or you may have someone, or you may be experiencing something out somewhere, and having a little bit of knowledge of certain things in case you're running into some strange activity, you could reference to some of this stuff and maybe help pinpoint what may be going on. But yeah, so we keep track of recently added reports, like to the Bigfoot Mapping Project. We've been checking out the BFRO, and yes, another disclaimer, we know who runs that, and talking about all the Bigfoot drama happening these days. Yes,
Bigfoot Mania 2026
is on fire still. And so yeah, check out some of the live streams we've been putting out, that could help guide you if you're unfamiliar with what's been happening. Again, Area 51, if you're still in here, bro, check out some of the previous live streams. We've been, referencing certain channels and sharing channels, or you could always go to my posts and see what I'm posting. And I'm still posting some of MK stuff. And I mentioned yesterday, I don't agree with everything he's putting out, but I think he's put in a lot of work and a lot of good work too, stabilizing and uh and he's still doing it. So I thank them for that, for still doing his thing, and some people might not like him at all or his work, and that's all good, whatever. Much respect to everybody. And we're gonna give one Czar a shield too while we're at it. He should have a shield in case he wants to share his channel or any new links to some new art or whatever. There you go, bro. You're shielded up. Don't worry, you're gonna get a notification. Just feel free to accept. And so yeah, Eric dropped another video today. At first he said he was gonna just make a few videos and that was it, but he started receiving attacks and he was doxxed, and which is all foul, all bad, not good stuff. You don't want that happening to anyone. No, it's a no go. Yeah, none of that. That also deserves one of these. Where are you at? We'll pull it up later. I had another sound effect for that. But yeah, no, it's just overboard, and no one needs that in their life. We got enough going on already, right? And so yeah, some other things were brought up. People's interviews. He brought up podcasters and guests that are on those podcasts, and just how could we vet things better, even on the online reports, the interviews, which is true too, because I want to listen to some truth, and I get it. There's people out there that love listening to stories, and whether they're AI made or made up, or I like the true ones. I want to listen to the real stuff, right? I don't know about you, but I do. Put a 420 in the chat if you want to listen to the real deal stuff. And a lot of this stuff's been going on for years, and yeah, the internet's flooded with this type of stuff, from Dogman to right now is the rake's the hot thing, right? The rake or the pale crawlers. And yeah, if you got some real stuff happening, let us know. I want to know. And while we're here, we'll just check a few things. Yeah, some small town monster stuff. It was good to see Thomas Steenberg on the latest small town documentary. Got to squatch with him for several days last July. Veteran researcher. So check him out. That's this documentary here. That was put out earlier today. So some fresh Bigfoot stuff there. What else we got? All right, Bigfoot doing the sauna, episode 94. Man, I wish that was me. A few other interesting shares there on the post section of the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, because you know how they like to do us. And share the channel as well with someone who you think may find it interesting. And yeah, I'm actually gonna play that. I'm gonna watch Eric's video again, just because it was good. I enjoyed it, and there's a lot of good information there. He actually shared some of the. Let's go over to his channel. FOIAs that he's gotten recently. And those are the Freedom of Information Act reports he's been requesting from different law enforcement agencies throughout the country. And he's got quite a list now, and he's shared some of that stuff over on his Patreon. And so now he also mentioned that he's actually going to be working on a website, and actually it's probably under construction already. If you go to the latest video, he'll mention that, and also talking about an interactive map So that is super interesting and super cool. And he's bringing these real reports. So again, check out his channel. And yeah, I've been trying to get people on here to come on and talk with us and show us what they got. And it hasn't been easy. I've gotten a lot of yeses. I got possibly I got to make a few phone calls later today and trying to line some things up. Hopefully for tomorrow, we'll see. No guarantees, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And yeah, I want to be able to get quality guests on here, and no pressure because I know that ain't easy. I know getting the quality stuff is not always easy. So yeah, anyone interested, always feel free to send me an email. And the email is active now. I am checking it, folks. So, and what's up? What's the chat saying? What's going on? Gerald shared a link there. All right, shared one's art link. Right on, Gerald. I appreciate that. And the chat's all silent. Here's the link for one's art, and I'm gonna post the link for the email as well. So yeah, if you got some goods, evidence, pictures, videos, I'd love to check that type of stuff out. Bring it forth, and we could work something out. I feel it's a safe place here. A lot of chat will say that. And we're gonna cruise down here really quick. There it is. Cal_org ORG Bigfoot Project 420 at yahoo.com. And I heard another big, Bigfooter, and it all comes into question. I'm telling you, this is part of the drama and this and that, and everyone thinks differently. Everyone has different perceptions of stuff. And someone was mentioning that, yeah, if you're hearing, like, let's say, and they mentioned some channels, some big channels too, that take emails as reports and they read them off. And yeah, even some of those, I followed some of those channels, and yeah, some of those reports are questionable. They're all questionable, right? But some of them really make you question. Some of them really go into some strange areas, and it just really makes you wonder more. And is it like, misleading? Is it, yeah, you got to vet through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of also hoaxes that have happened, even to some well-known Bigfooters or well-known names in different games, whether it be UFO or we'll talk Bigfoot here, like the London tracks. That was, one that was a bunch of tracks. And yeah, y'all know about the London tracks, right? Not, you can look that up. I believe they say that was a hoax. And there's been stuff like that where people thought it was the legit thing, and come to find out later, no, it wasn't. And then there's well-known hoaxers out there too. There was a new one recently, I think out of New York, right? Some guy carrying around a body saying it was a dead Bigfoot, kind of doing what's that dude's name? I think he's from Texas. And yeah, and that goes back even to, like, I guess the Minnesota Iceman, to those days, right? There's a whole story behind that. And yeah, it gets hairy in the Squatchy arena. And here we are, Bigfoot vibes, Bigfoot alive and well. 2026, man, what a year. Didn't see this coming. And so, yeah, there we go. So either way, we're still going to hop into some reports as over on Bigfoot Society, Jeremiah, I seen one of his shorts, and he's the one who, I guess, was reporting on the Bigfoot flap in Ohio. So he read a Bigfoot report off the Bigfoot Mapping Project, which we're going to pull up here in a second. And I know it's been squirrely, so for those that have the app, maybe try just looking up the website online instead of using the app. Yeah, I've heard different things about possibly things happening with the app, and then we've noticed certain little things happening when we look up the website, little glitches and stuff like that here, but we're still able to maneuver around. We're still seeing that reports are coming in, and we've been reading them off as they come in. So I think, was it last night? I think this morning I seen Jeremiah Fountain over or Jeremiah Byron, sorry. Jeremiah Fountain. That's another guy. Jeremiah Byron from Bigfoot Society. Tell you, I'm not bad with remembering names. Sometimes I mess up, but it's not easy remembering everyone's names, and especially when you're live. Huh? My bad, Jeremiah. Both Jeremiahs. But Jeremiah Byron, Bigfoot Society. So yeah, I posted a short, and he was touching on, I think it was a second report out of Canada. Yesterday we did a report out of Canada from the Bigfoot Mapping Project, and it looks like there's a I don't know, I wouldn't call it a flap, but several other reports all of a sudden have sprinkled that area, and I think it's the provinces, right, of Ontario. So we'll have a look at that now, and yeah, we'll get our evening Bigfoot report. What's up, y'all? Let's see, Lori Lad 777 hopping up in here. Uh-oh, Citizens App report. Y'all want to hear it? four women fighting on something somewhere in Hollywood. Watch out. Telling you, Easter. It's on and cracking out here. I could go on and on about stuff, man. It's been a heavy week on into the weekend. All right, we're pulling up a Bigfoot Society. No, Bigfoot Mapping Project. Yes. Here we go, folks. I'm going to do the circle. And there it is. So yesterday, if you caught the stream, it's looking pretty colorful. Yeah, we touched on Illinois, which Midwest Night Watchers, this report here was very much near where Midwest Night Watchers is at, which is, I'm sure, interesting to them. I think the nearest town was Washington. And then we had another friend, subscriber in the chat, Audio, who's also from the area. I missed the chat, and I don't know if any comments popped up, but yeah, that was an interesting one there. And we had touched on that area on a previous stream with Garrel from Midwest Night Watchers. When we're going to have Chi on? When are you going to come on the channel over here, Chi, and chop it up with us? And we touched over on on over to the Canadian side of things. And I want to say it was this report up here. And then as you can see today, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reports have popped up since. So I have no idea what this is all about. We're going to get into it and check it out, do some reading. Hopefully we don't fumble too hard. Hey, it is past 420, folks. And look how they lit orange right now. That's weird. This one looks double stacked. We talked about the double stacking too, when they turn orange and they still have a green hue under it. Don't disappear on us, reports. Let's see what it's saying. So this is saying 426, 433. A little past 420 there too, huh? Height 7-footer, no vocalization, and it says around 7:30 a.m. I was walking my golden retriever when he started barking towards the wooded area right beside the field, and about halfway down there was a 7-foot creature with black fur just standing along the tree line. I immediately started to walk back to my vehicle, which was about 200 feet away, and when we got in and looked back, it was gone. Boom. And it does say they experienced some wood knocks. Whoa, wrong one there. My bad. That laugh is for me. Damn, bro. There we go. There's our wood knock. It's the same colors as the baby laugh. Now everyone's laughing. Yeah, no, don't laugh at this report. This sounds serious. I would take this as a serious report. This is a good one. And so that's 4/5/26. All right. We'll keep an eye out on the dates. 4/5. And so right beside that one, and it could be, quite a distance as we drop the squatch here. I don't see any other reports. There's a couple of green ones over here, which are probably references to books or something like that. And so let's check this one out. And sometimes keep an eye out for reports when they're next to each other like that, if you're checking out the mapping project here, because sometimes we've seen that the same report will double up and it'll mark them in two different places too. So stuff like that happens. So something to take note of. And it says 4/4. So we did the 4/5 right now. So this is 4/4/26 235. And it says 7'8" here. So they got the 8 inches in. And it says it's a male, no vocalization. And it says at about 5:35 on Sunday, April 4th, I was walking along the edge of the bush in Thamesville, Ontario, just enjoying a quiet evening. Nothing felt out of the ordinary until everything suddenly went still. The birds stopped, the wind seemed to die down, and it got oddly quiet. We hear that a lot, right? Usually they say that when that happens, usually a predator is around. And if it's no predator, then maybe some high strangeness is about to pop off. So heads up. That's when I noticed movement ahead of me. A massive figure slowly stepped out from behind the trees, and my heart instantly started racing. It was Bigfoot. He was huge, easily taller than any person, broad shoulders and thick dark fur that looked rough and unkempt. He moved calmly, almost like he wasn't worried about anything. What really stuck with me were his eyes, seemed aware, almost human, like he was studying me just as much as I was staring at him. I froze, not knowing what to do. As he walked past, there was a strong, earthy smell in the air. Damn, smelling earthy. Within seconds, he turned and disappeared back into the forest, and everything slowly went back to normal, leaving me standing there in complete disbelief. And it says they left some tracks. Again, wood knocks. Do have some footstep sounds somewhere up in here. Can we pull it up? So yeah, interesting report. And I believe that's the one that I seen Jeremiah do a YouTube short on. And yeah, pretty interesting. So from one day to the next, another report, and then let's hop on over, keeping an eye out on the dates. Let's see here. So this orange one, I believe, let's see. This was also 4/5/26/1202. And see, it makes it weird when they get those extra little minutes in, they don't round it off to the, makes me wonder, but whatever. People have watches and phones and everything, so we should be able to tell exact time now. You never know. And I'll come on sometime, says the milkman. All right, bro. Right on. Milkman got the realness, huh? He wants to bring it. Anytime, brother. Let's set it up. You have my contact. And sorry, I'm I'll jump in the chat in a minute. Let's see. So this is another 4/5/1202, and they haven't been like the past couple reports we read. Bless you, bro. Bless up, King Man. Yes, I. Um, they don't sound like ridiculously crazy, no, right? They sound like decent reports. At least to me, they do. So same day, which is weird. So what also comes to mind is what? How is it? Is it the same person having these encounters, or how did all these people know to report to this site? That's what comes to mind. Maybe some are being reported to the BFRO. We know that they don't release reports immediately. Sometimes they do. We've noticed that, and they do. They do mark those. They let you know when they're recent. At least for the most part, we've noticed. It says 7.5-footer male. Vocalization, yeah, did vocalize. So not doing the baby laugh this time. All right. So it says at first we heard an odd howling. It wasn't like a dog. It wasn't like anything else we had heard before. We back onto a forest from residential street. It's an odd place for a Bigfoot to be, but in the first image, you can see its head and shoulders where it is standing. We don't have any trees or boulders. Later, when we were talking to our neighbors, they also claim they heard the same noise. And they say the bigger creature was dark brown. And again, not not outrageous. Sounds like a sighting. So that's been orange, but it's got a little green hue to it. Maybe it's on its way to turning fully orange. Who knows? But I don't think there's another report stacked under that. And again, it's at a 4/5, which is today, right? All right. So 4/20, here we go. Bigfoot was busy on this day. What was Bigfoot up to on 4/20 here? It says 4/20/25, 11:08 p.m., 7 feet 7 inches. It did vocalize. Did it sound like that? Chat is frozen. What's up, chat? Everyone's stuck. What's going on? So we got a vocalization here, and it says, I was walking alone along the woods by my neighbor's place late at night. We kind of got a theme going with these reports here, too. It was really quiet, no animals or anything, which already felt off. As I kept walking, I started to feel like something was watching me from the trees. We hear that a lot. Feeling of being squatched. Then I heard a low growl. Well, would this be considered low? Let's try it. Probably for Bigfoot, right? It'll work. All right, so you heard a low growl. It was deep and didn't sound like any normal animal. A few seconds later, I heard heavy movement in the bushes, like something big was moving around. I looked toward the sound and saw a tall, dark shape between the trees. It looked way bigger than a person and kind of hunched. I quickly took a photo with my phone, and as soon as the flash went off, the thing moved slightly and let out another growl. Yikes. That's when I ran straight back to my house without looking back. When I got inside and checked the photo, I could clearly see a large figure covered in dark hair standing between the trees, looking right at me. And we'll see if there's a link to the photo here. Nope, no link. We did get one with the audio link one time. That was pretty cool. And so heads up, you could Looks like you could share links to stuff here, photos and audio, and I don't think maybe a link to a video. And yeah, they got wood knocks as well. And interesting. So not too far. And then in between that, you do have this yellow. Let's click the yellow squatch there. Looks like a BFRO report 12/16/2004. And I did see that on the BFRO, there is, I never actually dipped into the Canadian section over there. We'll take a quick look. There is a red squatch down here. Let's see, 5/21/23. Says 8-footer male. And this report says, saw a Bigfoot behind a large boulder in the area near the point in the woods area up there. I lived 10 minutes from sighting and was with my dog. This area is part of the Bruce Trail that could be over 5,000 years old, once used by the native Canadian Indians. Interesting. All right, so now we're up to what? 1, 2, 3. Is it 3 reports as of late? We're gonna click. This is the one we read yesterday, I believe. So that one's 7/15/23. And then hopping on over up here, let's see. Algonquin Provincial Park, Natural Environment Class. That's what it says there. And then we're gonna click that. It says 10/17/14, 8 a.m., 6.5-footer. No vocalization. And hang tight. We're going for a read here. It says, I was in Algonquin camping with 2 of my buddies. We canoed to another part of the lake and went on shore for a rest to look for crayfish on the shoreline. I was farther down the shoreline away from the away from them, behind me all forest and all hill going up. I started to feel like I was being watched, and then heard crashing coming down the hill towards me. When I looked, it was a giant rock 2 or 3 feet around in diameter, roughly burrowing down the hill. I looked up higher on the hill, and this black bipedal creature came out from behind a tree and started running up the hill farther into the trees and was gone. It freaked me out. I ran back over to my buddies and said, we got to get out of here. And so we left. Oof. Let's see. Got wood knocks on this one. That was a weak one. There we go. A little wood knocker there. And it says it was black. So again, the date 10/17/14. So that was a bit of a throwback. Now zooming out here, let's see. You could see there's another Canadian report, and I do believe it might be Ontario. I'm not sure. Yeah, yep, still Ontario there, the province of Ontario, closer to Lake Superior. And as you can see on the other side of Lake Superior, we reported on that. Let's see, it's lit up blue here. It's over on the tip, and this was several days ago, and that was a Wisconsin report. So check out the previous live. I think I want to say it was maybe, I think the title might have Wisconsin in it, maybe 3 live streams ago or so. And so dropping the squatch here. Let's see what this says. So 10/1/77. So 70s throwback. And I do enjoy those 70 Bigfoot reports. Let's see here. Height 7-footer. And on a dark and misty autumn night in October of 1977, 2 different motorists traveling opposite directions had a similar eerie encounter with what was described as a Sasquatch. The motorists, both driving near the Montreal River Hill area, say this creature, who was about 7 foot tall and with massive arms and legs, walked in front of their vehicle, forcing them to come to a complete stop. Whoa. The stride taken by the creature was enormous. The southbound motorist reported the event to the SALT OPP, and the northbound motorist reported the same strange occurrence to the Wawa OPP. Neither driver knew one another. Local newspapers covered the story at the time. Interesting. And so going back to what like Eric was talking about on the video, there was like, I think there was Ron Moorhead's name came up, and we have brought his name up before, and enough respect to him. You know, Humboldt County, lived in Humboldt County for a bit. He shared that in Fortuna. And so, you know, props. And I asked him too about, you know, did he have any experiences while he was in Humboldt? He said no, which I found pretty interesting. But yeah, the Sierra Sounds have come up in question before, right? You know, why hasn't anyone gotten similar audio? Or I haven't heard any. Maybe there is some audio out there very, I would say, identical to it. There's other audio out there that people have captured that seem very similar. And just to give my brother a heads up, we got a homie coming in right now. What's up, brother? Yeah. But a lot of people do. A lot of people do claim they hear what people call the same type of, I won't even, some people say we shouldn't call it samurai chatter. And but yeah, people describe it as that, or they use maybe another country or another culture's language to describe what they're hearing, so like a foreign language. But yeah, the audio has come up, and Eric brought it up on his video because there's, I guess, on the Sierra Sound CDs, I don't know if it's 2 CDs, on the second CD possibly, they have this audio out of Washington, which is one of my favorites. But I guess it comes along with the Sierra Sounds, and it was used, I believe, in the intro of Sasquatch Chronicles, right? And when I would listen to it, because I love hearing it, some of you may know this audio. I thought it sounded like Ron. And I could swear there was a few shows back where they had Ron on, and I'll try to find this show. I have to look up some of the recent shows he was on. I think he might have mentioned, now don't it's not 100, but if I remember correctly, that it is his voice on that. Take care, brother. Bless up. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Likewise. Yeah. Soldier. Yeah. So yeah, interesting. We'll have to dig. Maybe someone else has heard this before. It'd be good to get some clarification. And so Eric, I believe, did what he's been doing and dug around to see if he could get an FOIA on those reports of that audio. Remember, the dog got like a mangled up, and it was, yeah, it wasn't. The report was wild, and yeah, the audio's out there. Maybe someone could share a link to that. I don't know. If you listen to Sasquatch Chronicles, I believe that's what they use on the intro. So over here it says source sign in front of Voyager's Lodge on 17 Botswana Bay, and then a few letters, and I don't know what that is all about, but right there. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know, because I always took that as serious, especially it being, and not to, you know, there's been even a situation with the whole Sasquatch Chronicles thing, if you go way back, and other players that actually I listen to their shows now. And uh-oh, just keeping an eye out. It looks like some Some crazy stuff was about to go down here outside. Got to keep an eye out here. Where was I? That threw me off. Yeah, this looks interesting up here. Some red reports up here. Anyway, so yeah, maybe someone out there could help us with that, and it'd be interesting to dive in a little further just to find out if those audio recordings were real. So Eric couldn't find any reports on that on file. And I would imagine they don't always give you. He also said that there's an like a time limit on reports when people submit a report, like let's say to authorities, and I guess it would matter region to region, department to department. But he was mentioning something that most departments, after a certain amount of days, they get rid of those calls. So I don't know if it's the same, like uniform all across the country, or if it varies from state to state, county to county, and all that, city to city, town to town. But yeah, there you have it. Let's see. Let me check around. Let's refresh this just to see if any reports happen to pop in. We did also read some of these reports that by default pop up in Mali, Africa for some strange reason. So that was yesterday. And so let's refresh this right quick. And I want to thank everyone for hanging out and listening to me ramble. I'll jump in the chat here in a bit. Let's see. The Bat Mom, what's up? Good to see you. Glenn, that blows my mind that he lived in Fortuna and didn't experience anything. Yeah. I would have thought he would have had some Squatch activity, it being so close to Bluff Creek. I'm sorry, but I lived in Humboldt from age 10 to 14. I remember you sharing that with me. So you're another Humboldt. I was going to say from the bolt. There's going to be some other things I was going to say, but yeah, that's super cool. You know, my heart's there. Let's see. She also said, the Bat Mom was saying, so she lived in Humboldt from the age of 10 to 14 years old and experienced a ton of things out there. Some I didn't realize at the time, but remembering back, I was always hearing and seeing crazy things in those woods. Yeah, no, it's something very magical about that county, you know, be it the redwoods or the ocean being there, the hills, you know. And even if I've said it, you know, I've been saying it, even if Patty ain't real, we know there's strange stuff going on in those woods. Oh man. So we're gonna hop on over. I do want to put that comment up. Let's see. How do I 1 second? Shout out to Barry Littleton, was checking out this live stream earlier. You know, that brother takes us out there. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What up, Rich Shot? Tapping in. What's up, brother? We open today. Yeah. Happy holiday to everybody. Happy Easter, Robin, if you celebrate it. And if you have the day off, and I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, so let's see. Here we go. Awesome share from the Bat Mom. And the Bat Mom, you know, you're one of those. I know if I'm getting information from you, I know you think critically for the most part. You know, we've never met in person. And heck, you being from Humboldt County, even more now. Sometimes we get our good friend Juliana McGill, who hopefully might be listening or listening later. Shout out to you, Juliana. And she's from up that way and gives us reports, you know, of what's going on, weather or what's happening, you know, in the county. It's not all Bigfoot, but she's had her experiences and she's shared in the chats before. And yeah, so yeah, definitely some strange stuff happening and all over, you know. And I was going to say up that way, but all over. I think anywhere there's some trees, you're going to have something going on. All right. So, yeah, there we go. We got our reports off there. We're going to hop on over to the BFRO right quick just to see if there's anything submitted at the moment. We'll refresh this right quick. Hopefully, y'all are seeing that on your end. Yep, should be. So, no recently added reports. It's all good. And but I did want to show here. So right here, you could click, look, click the states, and then if you're familiar with the site, you know how it goes. And there's a bunch of other little things you could click around here. So be sure to check it out. And yes, we know who runs the site and what's been, going on with the whole Patterson footage and people saying things. And so whatever, we're just using it for whatever data we can use. And hopefully, I kind of explained myself earlier in the chat also. So if you're just coming in, be sure to rewind too if you have some comments, and check out the stream from the beginning. Also, can't forget about the Eagles. Don't let me forget. We're gonna get into it right after this. So if you could click here, click on the states, it take you by state to state, county to county, and here you could actually click on Canada, which we haven't done. And so yeah, now that we got this bunch of reports over on the Bigfoot Mapping Project, it'd be interesting to check out the Ontario there with 68 reports. So I wonder how many of those are close or near some of the reports we just read. And we do like to match those up at times, but now with all right, heads up. Thank you, Gerald. Give us a second. We're gonna switch gears here, folks. Hopefully I find it. Give us 1 second. Here we go. And we got a live Easter police chase, folks. Heads up. Thank you, Gerald, Midwest Night Watchers, for that handoff, brother. And here we go, folks. We'll get some details going here. Let's see. Cahuenga, Studio City. So they're on the 134 East. Bro, speed chase. 134 East. Cahuenga Boulevard. Toluca Lake. Heads up, folks. If you're out on the roads. And a big thank you to Gerald from Midwest Night Watchers again. Yeah, so is Smoke and Scan at it? I know Smoke and Scan was doing his showing his cards right now, so he was streaming already. So he's probably ready to go. I don't know if he uses his phone to do that, but is Smoke and Scan, is he on, bro? Probably is. Yeah, he does trading cards and baseball cards and stuff like that. He sells, buys. I don't know if he trades, but he buys and sells. But he's the king of the speed chases out here. So shout out to him. We've streamed his channel as well. And feel free, bro, to post the link to Smoking Scan's channel. We don't mind. We support his channel. We've streamed him before. And we want people, if you're into this type of stuff, check it out, because he does some really good ones. Just that his commentary might not be your flavor. It gets, you could have a laugh over there or you might get upset. So just a heads up. And we're going to activate our camera here. Man, on Easter. Here we go. And, it was quiet. We haven't streamed any chases lately, but there have been chases in the Southland, folks. Actually, it was a deadly week. I mentioned just the other night that there was 6 fatalities due to speed chases in Southern California last week, I believe it is. Just in the past few days, probably in the last week. Yeah, safe to say that. So hopefully this ends safely. And if you have folks in the area, you might want to notify them. So yeah, 134 East hitting the city of Glendale. And earlier when we were talking about the coyotes attacking the kids, I have a few web searches pulled up here. And I was going to read them, but I'm like, dude, I'm not going to read all that. We're pretty familiar with some of the cases we were talking about, all these different animal attacks. But it did show one for Glendale, California, and I have lived in Glendale. Pretty trippy city. Um, there was one, and I think it was it said the only documented coyote fatal attack. And I don't know if it was specifically of a little boy, a little kid, but and it was out of Glendale, California. And recently the coyotes have been all over the news. So and feel free to share your links also, folks, whoever got channels, anyone got links to anything to check out later today, maybe pertaining to what we were talking about or anything else interesting, feel free. Y'all chop it up. It's time to network. Yeah, so there was one particular video, we showed it, and it was like 40 coyotes on this guy's street, and that was in Glendale. And this guy's like, I lived here in Glendale for years, and I've seen the coyotes. You know, we see them all over the place here. We see them downtown LA. I haven't seen them downtown, but I've seen videos of them. But I'm not far from downtown, and I have my own pack in our neighborhood. But what was it? Oh, it was 40 of them. He's like, I've never seen this many coyotes on the street like this. Is this a Roadrunner safe channel? Yes, it is, Blazer. Took me a second to read that. I was like, wait, hold on. What is he saying here? Yes, it is. Meep, meep. Oh, man. So who knows what's happening here? It is Easter. You know, people are out partying. Cervezas are being consumed. So you never know. But yeah, let's have a listen. Let's get a little audio going here. And I'm glad this popped in right after we had our read of the reports, because then I would have really been scrambled.
You got to be the 9.
Here we go.
Because it's a lot easier to come down than to go try to play catch up when some suspect bails out of the car and now you're under fire. So you start very high awareness of what's going on. Do all your tactics and things of that sort. Extra luxury of having some information gives you a little more heightened awareness of what you're going to deal with when this comes to a stop.
Absolutely. We have a broader view now of what it looks like to be that black car, and having, it looks like there were 4 CHP or black and whites behind this suspect. We talk a lot about routes, and right now that driver is approaching the Interstate 2, so they can make a choice whether they want to get off of the 134 and travel on the 2, which would give them an option to go downtown and hit the Interstate 5. So we'll keep an eye on what this driver is doing right now. For those of you who know the Glendale area, they just passed Brand, which means that would have been your off-ramp to go to Americana at Brand. Now they're traveling along. Again, this is basically eastbound, even if, well, no, right here with the California 134, they do call it eastbound. The 101 gets tricky because they'll call something north and south, and it's really east and west if you're in the San Fernando Valley. All right, so watching that black sedan, or I guess it's more like a crossover. If you're just joining us here on Fox Local, we're streaming this police pursuit for you, and we're showing that black vehicle as law enforcement are behind. CHP officers have been chasing this car. We picked up the chase in Calabasas, and that car made its way all the way across San Fernando Valley, the western San Fernando Valley area, and wound up here on the 134, traveling not an unusual speed, Tim, for this kind of traffic and for the 134 itself. So if CHP was just, kind of cruising along, they would not find this car particularly notable. I mean, they're definitely not traveling or driving erratically, nothing so far. But, imagine how you'd be if you were a lot of times the Skyfox has got to take a different perspective because of no-fly zones or because there is a game at Dodger Stadium. I don't think that's the case. It could have just been Skyfox sort of just taking a moment to pull back and see what's going on behind this vehicle. This vehicle, again, it's steady as it goes. I mean, we definitely have seen vehicles just like this with a serious want, take off and go at a higher rate of speed. So we're not seeing that. What does that mean to you? Do you think this driver is just trying to stay out of the way or get away, but not get away, as in like try to find a way to outrun and outpace the law enforcement vehicles, which is probably not ever happening?
We can't forget about the Eagles. We're going to mention it now. So Jackie and Shadow, the Eagles and here we are in Eagle Rock, going through Eagle Rock. There is an actual rock, and you could see an eagle shape on it. Have you seen the eagle on the rock, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge boulder in Eagle Rock there. I wonder if there's any mysterious things, like any paranormal stuff going around that rock. But yeah, you can see this. It has got this weird, what would you say? It's got some pareidolia action going on to the top of the rock to where you could see an eagle, and I believe that's why they call it Eagle Rock. There might be another story to it, but that's what I know about Eagle Rock there. And the eagle, yeah, Big Bear Eagle here in Southern California. You know, we've been streaming the live stream of the eagles. We mentioned that there was a batch of 2 eggs that were lost due to some ruthless crows. But Jackie was able to pump out another 2 eggs. And last night, and I thought I had pulled up the eagle stream while I was taking care of some business here yesterday during the stream. I'm not sure, but at 9:30 last night, one of her eggs hatched. Yes. And a little later this morning, when I got word of that, and then I heard that the second one popped its head out, and I think it's fully hatched. My brother and I seen it earlier, and I want to say it's fully hatched. So, a little while earlier, they said it was just a head sticking out, and they weren't considering it a full hatch because it wasn't completely out of the bottom half of the egg. But yeah. Yeah, I hope those here we go. Black screen. Uh-oh. What's going on, Chopper? No. We're gonna switch gears. All right. I see why Gerald sent me a second link. Give you a second. We're gonna try and pop this on somewhere else. But yeah, 2 eaglets born, y'all. And we're gonna have a look at them in a sec. Well, depending on how long this chase lasts. Let's see here. That was Fox. We're going to go to ABC7. Live news. Are we on here? No. ABC7 LA. One moment. Here we go. There it is. Can we step up 720 only? 720/60. Let's do that. There we are. Okay, what up, the Cryptid Huntress? Hey, we were mentioning your show earlier, and it was a great show, by the way. And we were questioning the case because remember I had hopped in and mentioned some comments, so I was clearing that stuff up, and I was questioning whether it is, because if you notice, I believe it's the same newsreel you showed on your show last night, and that popped into my feed last night after the show, and so I checked it out again, and I went into the comments, and the comments were like lit up with like all sorts of Dogman comments, And I was like, whoa. And so I went in on the comments and I was just like, damn, some of these people are jumping the gun. Like, yeah, I just felt like, yeah, it's trippy that it's reported as a strange animal. They first thought it was a dog, but now they believe it's some sort of strange dog-like creature, I believe they said, right? And so, yeah, I was kicking around all the different wildlife. We've been having a lot of attacks here in California and specifically Southern California also. But we were bringing up all the different attacks, and I've been, streaming a lot of this stuff when it pops up on the news. I'll bring it up. So, rattlesnakes. There's been some fatal ones. There's been some fatal mountain lion. There's been some bear attacks here locally lately. So I was bringing all that up and mentioning that the wildlife's been on attack. So watch out, folks. And so we were questioning that video, and we did mention your show last night, and we gave props to, I believe it's David Pardue, correct? Big salute to him again. And yeah, it was a great show. Cop Barry earlier today was hanging out at his stream and enjoying his stream and hanging out with a lot of familiar faces over there. Chupacabra. What's going on, Ridge Shot? Let's see. Are these people alone? Is it a woman? Is it a man? Is it something else? I'm not sure. Innocent until proven guilty. You never know why they're on the run. Viewer discretion be advised. And not sure if you checked out Eric's new video, Jessica, which is another. He's coming back with some, some ammo and firing off some new videos. And we did share that in the chat. We shared it in the stream earlier. We read some Bigfoot reports recently added to the Bigfoot mapping project, and just catching people up if you're just jumping into the stream. And as we were finishing those Bigfoot reports, here come the chips. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the beast. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. Uh-oh. Yeah, too bad I don't have sirens here. What up, Digger Dog? And yeah, just, questioning, learning how to question things, learning how to get the good data, learning how to, tell when people are telling you the truth or not. There's different things. There's a lot of good points that Mr. Pardue pointed out last night too. That he pointed out also about vetting the reports as well, and stuff like that. Vetting, we're talking about vetting people earlier too when it comes to reports and stuff like that. What are some practices we could do to help better do that? And yeah, of course, bringing your videos, bringing whatever information you can when you're bringing forth whatever it is, your encounter or maybe evidence of stuff. So possible unaliver on the run here. We'll see. And if that's the case, that means these are desperate measures, and that's not good. But again, they're not, they're keeping the speed limit 70. Yeah. Not going too fast. Could someone make out the vehicle? Is that a Subaru or is that someone else? Is that a Honda? Blazer says it's the Popo. Cheese it. Soccer Bob Van says Ridge Shot. And let's see, it is Smoking Scan on the case. Oh, yes, he is. He's on it. Right on. Again, check out Smoking Scan if you like these types of chases. So there's times, Urso, aloha, brother. I used to be Popo 50, actually, since was Honolulu. Hawaii 50. What was I gonna mention? Yeah, if you like, so sometimes Smoking Scan won't catch the chase. And so when he doesn't, hey, if we got the opportunity, we will. And that has happened a few times. Maybe he was at work or something, but he is the king of chases, especially when it comes to SoCal. Even when there is no chases, like these past few days, it's been quiet, but yet I mentioned there were 6 fatalities out here, but those chases really didn't get streamed. They streamed the ending of one, and it was a stolen, stolen vehicle, but didn't show the actual chase. The heck was I going to say about that? Yeah, sometimes we stream them, and sometimes we get them at the same time. So Smoke and Scan is streaming, and we're doing our thing here. So appreciate Gerald again for tossing us that link, and we've done the same. I think I've sent one to Gerald. Might have mentioned one while they were streaming one time, and they threw it up, and we're able to stream it. So that was cool. Uh-oh. Blazer. Oh, man. You never know, bro. Where's the Pacalolo, brother? Yeah, again, remember, yo, Rich Shot, we're going to be open on 420. We're usually closed on Mondays. And here comes, see, right now, Smoke and Scan is probably throwing up the Jaws theme. Da-da, da-da. Do you think chickens are furious for rabbits claiming Easter eggs are their own? Why aren't the chickens picketing? Says Urso. Is that a rabbit in the passenger seat? Very possible, bro. It is Easter. And we have seen, even 2026, we have seen some wild chases, everything from big rigs to U-Haul trucks. Actually, one of the deadly ones this week was a U-Haul van. And they say that chase only lasted 1 minute. From when the police started chasing them, within a minute, the U-Haul crashed into another vehicle, I believe, and there was 2 fatalities at that one, if I'm not mistaken. And that was in Orange County. Wild, wild stuff. Yeah, and here he goes. I'm sure he's got a full tank of gas. They always do. How do they do that? I've been getting in the habit of that. Keeping my tank full. And thank goodness it's been working out, especially with these prices. I try to fool myself by keeping it full. Keeping it full, you fool. Oh my goodness, here we go. So, oh, you're there, promise. All right, man, no problem, no pressure. We're gonna have discounts on selected items, and we're also, it's not 100. I don't have the flyer yet, but it's the word is already that there will be an event happening over at the Catalyst on that same day. So as I get more information, I believe there's going to be DJs, probably food and all that. What's up, brother? How you doing? All right. Yeah, man. So should be on and popping for 420. And let me pull up the location of the shop in case Ridge Shot or anybody else out there is in the area. Let's see, where are you? Here we go. Oh, whoops, that's Discord. My bad. Here we go. There it is. So 3925 East Olympic Boulevard, East Los Angeles, California, 90023. And thank you again, Blazer, for that slap. Yeah, Blazer gave us a slap. We're gonna slap it on the door over here. Pretty cool. What's the name of the teddy again, Blazer? Let us know. Is Catalyst next door? Yes, the Catalyst. So right next to us. So the shop, we're on the corner of Alma and Olympic Boulevard. And the main street is going to be Indiana and Olympic. And there's a Shell gas station right there. There's a Jim's Burgers across the street. There's a new hibachi spot too. And then so next to where the Shell gas station is, right at the corner, we're right next to that. And so it's the smoke shop on the corner of Alma, and then it's a barber shop. Lady who's been here a long time. Ooh, look at this! Look at this unit coming in. They're gonna close in. Are they gonna go? Think these guys will go for a pit maneuver? It's the barber shop, and then next to that, the barber shop is now a new cafe called Cafedinha. And a shout out to them. Yeah, they've been serving coffee. I believe they open till about 2 p.m. pretty much every day. They were open a little later today. Seen some cakes coming in and out of there. All different types of cakes. Blazer. Yeah, so they were pretty active for Easter today. And, you know, around here, this part of East LA, there's a lot of cemeteries. We've talked about that. There's even an Oddfellows cemetery here, y'all. Yeah. We're going to have to go do a tour there again. So a lot of flowers get sold around here on certain holidays, and get a lot of that stuff. So, yeah, a lot of people selling flowers today. They're Easter bouquets and stuff like that. Several flower shops around here as well. They threw in the little zoom with the blue circle there. So, y'all seen that? It's a cool little feature. I like when they throw up the map, the grid. You can see all the streets and all that stuff. Super cool. They should start. I don't think I've ever seen them actually use the thermal. And I don't know if they actually use FLIR brand, but that would be rad to see them use the thermal. Actually, I have seen like previous, like not live videos, but videos of the helicopter using thermal. Yes. But on a live speed chase like this, and we're heading in 210 East, exit 42, Grand Avenue, East San Gabriel Valley. So they're up in the SGV right now, y'all. Here, we're going to let my brother's family know. Let's see, what's Barb saying? My sister's sending me a message. Yep. Sister. Sending her a message back. We on it. And actually, I was going to send my brother's family a message because they be out that way sometimes. You never know. Oh, let's get some audio going here.
You know, my opinion of what we're watching and have pursuits before when they have a destination. It seems like this vehicle is going back to where it lives, so to speak, meaning he's going back to familiar ground. That's not Ventura County, that's not Eagle Rock, Glendale, Pasadena, or any of those other cities, that he's going somewhere possibly in the Inland Empire.
And we're getting a little bit better vantage point of this driver right now. The driver has just lifted the right hand off the wheel. We'd noticed for a while, person was driving with two hands on the wheel, making some sort of motion, you know, touching his chest or something like that there. It's difficult to tell. We can't be sure, but it doesn't look as though there's anybody in the passenger seat. The windows, the back seat appear to be tinted, so we can't tell if there's an animal or perhaps anybody else inside the vehicle. But this person has to have been driving 50 to 70 miles at this point, and shows no signs of stopping. They haven't even changed lanes hardly in the last 15 to 20 minutes. Bruce, at some point, does law enforcement lose interest, or do they run out of patience with something like this and try and bring this to a stop? Or if it's not endangering the greater public, do they just continue following?
Yeah, great question. Just as a footnote, sheriff's vehicle, I think, with rooftop number 13, which, if I remember correctly, and I've been out of the game for a little bit, I think that's Lakewood Station. So they may have been on an uninvolved emergency call and just happened to be rolling code 3 lights and siren on the freeway to get where they needed to be. But going back to your question, they're not going to lose interest in this because it is a possible murder suspect. They will.
We've seen that recently. Poncho Zorch, and welcome in, brother. Where was it? It was not too long ago. It was within the last month or so. And yeah, it was this month, I want to say. It was a lady, it was a U-Haul. We recently got a live U-Haul chase. And it was a lady in a U-Haul. I remember she jumped out of the U-Haul. I think she might have hit like a cul-de-sac area. Jumps out of the U-Haul with a big old purse. And I think she was in high heels too. You could tell she was running like that. And she ran straight towards the cop was right ready for her right there. And just, I thought he was going to sack her, but I was like, oh no, here we go. But no, he didn't. He gently captured her. But yeah, that was, she had stopped at one point. So they were chasing her. She stops and she lit one up, bro. Lit one up. Yeah, who remembers that one? I should have maybe clipped that out into a short. I guess I should probably make a separate channel for all this, right? Except for like when it goes live. If it goes live while we're doing a show or a report, we could use the other channel and then maybe it won't. Because I know some people don't like this, but hey, this is part of LA culture, folks. It's part of living out here, and even different parts of California. I'll get their speed chases. San Dimas High School football rules, says Pancho Zorch. If you ever go to Raging Waters, the dude driving is smoking a joint, or was at least. Yeah, it's probably gone by now. Dude might be heading my way. Yep. Robin heads up. It's headed east. So earlier they had mentioned the 2 freeway when he was on was it the 134, I think it was? Or he might have been on the 210 also, but they mentioned there was a junction for the 2 and he could have gone up the mountain, but probably wouldn't have made it too far. I don't know if they fixed the road already. Part of that 2 freeway up there in the mountains got washed out. What up? Warnock in the house. What's up, brother? I've been checking out your videos, bro. Anyone into like what do you call those types of vehicles? Those are like desert. They're not dune buggies, but some are like dune like very high powered vehicles. They race them. Yeah, Warnock, the homie Warnock, and anyone into vehicles and stuff like that, check out his channel. He does post. Warnock, feel free to post the link to your channel, brother. And we'll have a listen here right quick, see what they're saying. They're not really saying much.
That's exactly what that driver did a few minutes ago. Now, we are continuing to follow this pursuit. For people who are just joining us, we have some quick tidbits on this situation up on your screen right there. The California Highway Patrol is pursuing this driver inside a black Subaru SUV. This began roughly an hour ago up in Ventura County as some sort of traffic stop that obviously did not go as planned. Once this person got on the freeway up in Ventura County, that's when the California Highway Patrol took over and began pursuing this black Subaru SUV. That person made their way on the 101 South through Encino all the way through the San Fernando Valley, picked up the 134 eastbound, drove through Glendale, Pasadena, the Burbank area, Toluca Lake. There was some more traffic at that point, but this person then got on the 210 East Freeway and has been there for several miles, roughly now going 60 to 61 miles per hour, a pretty slow rate of speed. This person is being pursued either for some sort of traffic violation.
And let's see here. All right, we got the sharks creeping in again. Da-da. Uh-oh. This one's that unit passed them up. So are they going for the spike? They're gonna spike it. Let us know in the chat. Give us a 420 in the chat if they're going for the spike strip. Robin says, had a car chase right in front of my house on my street last May 2025. Got him across the street at Starbucks. Oh, my goodness. And what, he went to, did he go to Sizzlers after it? Or was it a Sizzler? Sheriffs and PD. Yikes. Yeah, no, Robin's area, I mean, I'm sure Robin lives in a nice place and everything, but man, stuff, San Bernardino, Riverside, it's Southern California, folks. 420 in the chat says Poncho Zorch. We're going in for the spike, says Warnock. And Warnock, here, hold up. Does Warnock? Yeah, Warnock he's shielded up. You can share your channel. You can share links, bro. Come on, share some of your latest videos. Don't be shy. It's all good if you want to keep low key, but I think I watch them, bro. I love what you're doing. Hopefully one day you could, or I could hire you to maybe work on my Volkswagen or something like that when I get one again. Get another Volkswagen bus. Yeah, let me know if you see any buses out there, bro. Especially the later 60s, mid 60s. Oh man. Especially if it's a microbus with the 21 windows. Put some Safari windows up in it. Yeah, I had a 73 for a long time. Oh man, I miss it. Yeah, Warnock does a lot of work on vehicles, man. Enough respect. That's another thing. Finding a mechanic, a real mechanic that's reliable, truthful, serious. That's tough. That's a tough one. And I would definitely trust Warnock with any of my vehicles. Actually, my truck needs some work too. It's all good. We're going to get that done. I need some new shocks. Lord, if you're listening, help. Yeah, I know how to work on old school Chevys, says Warnock. That's awesome. And the Milkman sharing a link there. Yeah, Milkman, share. I hope that's a link to the podcast. And if you have a channel of your own, yeah, throw them up there. Let's see. We got another link up here too. Someone shared. The Milkman again. Christopher, what up, man? Sharing a link as well. Not sure what it's to, but hopefully it's something educational. My area is sketchy as hell. My community is gated, and at the west end, Riverside get over. Oh, plus I'm 5 miles. Oh, from the Scientology Filming Center. Saboba Casino. Yeah, right on, Robin. You know how it is. It's hood everywhere out here. And there's some nice communities as well, but all right, what are they saying up here? We're going out. We're going far out here.
Possibly send the vehicle to that residence if it's in close proximity to where they're going to find out, hey, do you know the driver? Do you know who this person is? And then they'll do a work. And
remember, there was a chase. Was it 2026? Might have been the ending of 2025. And that was here. It started here in Southern California, I think in the San Fernando Valley here, not the San Gabriel, but the San Fernando. Mount Baldy, y'all. Mount Baldy exit. Wow. I've been wanting to go up there. This lady made it all the way. Here we go. Spike strip, y'all. Spike strip.
I see. Yeah.
Drum
looks
roll.
like that vehicle that pulled way ahead is going to deploy a spike strip.
Here comes the Subaru. There's a spike strip out, we believe. Here we go.
Oh.
What's your take, Bruce?
Hopefully the spike strip will work and deflate some of the tires. You have multiple CHP units there. The officer's waiting for the vehicle. Once the vehicle comes in close proximity, then he'll deploy that spike strip or tack strip, as it's called. In this case, he's going to roll it out, but he's only covering maybe one lane. So looks like it's going to be non-functional spike strip deployment at that point.
And we've made a lot of the fact that this driver has stayed in the center lane. It appears as though this driver is now starting to make their way over to the inner lanes here on the freeway and perhaps maybe looking to exit there. Clearly word of this pursuit has gotten out because that was yet another freeway overpass that we saw drivers gathered on, people sort of watching this as though this was a real spectacle, and it has been. We're now in the third county now. This pursuit has been going on since Ventura County, well over 60 miles at this point, and yet not a super high rate of speed. The California Highway Patrol is pursuing this person because they believe it may be an attempted murder suspect. And so Bruce has been telling us they are treating this as the most dangerous possible situation to the public.
This starting as a traffic violation in Ventura County. Bruce, I want to ask you, could that have been...
Damn. So from Ventura, went through LA County, and now he's probably Ontario. So what is that, Riverside now? Heads up, Robin. What else? I was going to mention, what were they saying? Oh, the spike strip being deployed. How did that work? I wonder if the unit behind it got spiked also, because that was pretty quick. So do they have something they pull and then maybe the spikes go up and then they release it and the spikes go back down so that the unit behind it doesn't get spiked also? Does anyone out there know how that works? Rid shot. Wagwan.
Danger to do this. And you would need multiple spike strips in order to do this.
Yeah, there's the sheriff airship flying through our shot there right there. Okay, Bruce, we have a very important update. You've been saying that CHP is treating this as a dangerous possible situation, an attempted murder suspect. We now have some clarification. The Ventura CHP just clarified this for our assignment desk. They said this started as a traffic matter. During the pursuit, they say the suspect called the Ventura Sheriff Dispatch. The sheriff and the suspect talked for an extended amount of time. They say they figured out who he was and why this person wasn't stopping, and they clarified that he is wanted in connection with an attempted murder investigation. So this is why you were saying CHP, if they believe there's any chance that this is connected to an attempted murder, they are going to treat it as such.
Are we looking at another spike strip situation there?
Well, let's see what they do. Yeah, it's just hard on the freeway because there's so many lanes.
How many lanes
We're now in the Ontario area, just to point out, and yet another freeway overpass where people are gathered watching. So this is really, word of this has really gotten out to the general public.
How many lanes does a spike strip normally cover, Bruce?
You know, it looks like the spike strip they're using are maybe about 9 feet in total length. It looks like they did deploy it. Either they got one of the tires or they just missed it due to the length of the spike strip. But they're definitely going to try to keep employing spike strips. And to your point, with the advent of social media, people are watching this pursuit as it's streaming live on Channel 7, on KABC, but also their social media is blowing up over this, as you can see on the overpasses.
Just out of curiosity, does that change how police respond to that when they notice that there are people now out and watching this, that perhaps somehow the public could get involved? Are they more eager to bring this to a quick conclusion?
On the freeway, it's not so much as problematic as they were in a residential area, that we have seen suspects at the terminus, and we've seen, people that are friendlies get involved, and also maybe some antagonistic people in the neighborhood that are, they have to now worry about too as they take the suspect into custody. But on the freeway, it's not that big of an issue at this point.
You see that this car is coming into contact with some more drivers than we've seen in the 70 or so miles that this police has been pursuing it. We do see that the cars are doing what you suggested, getting out of the way and allowing the CHP motorcade to move through. But I do want to ask you about this information that we just got from the Ventura Highway Patrol here. What do you make of the fact that this suspect called the sheriff's office dispatch himself?
Another spike strip situation.
Oh, that's from earlier. I apologize. So we're rerunning some of that video. So, Bruce, I want to ask you, just to restate what we had gotten there, that this started as a traffic matter. During this pursuit, after it jumped onto the freeway, this suspect called the Ventura Sheriff Dispatch Center himself. And this suspect, the person behind the wheel, and the sheriff himself had an extended conversation. And that's how investigators were able to figure out who this person is and said that he is wanted in connection to an attempted murder. What do you make of that, Bruce?
Well, that's a good thing that law enforcement has gained information now of who is in the vehicle, what they are.
Suit continuing, but we know that there have been numerous situations. I can think of a few stories I've covered where suspects call dispatch. They want to share information. They want to identify themselves, and this appears to be one of those situations. Bruce,
is this person? So the driver just signaled again where they were changing lanes here.
Changing lanes.
So, are you noticing any change in pattern of this driver in the last few minutes? Because we've had a lot going on here. There are more drivers on the road at this point. We have a little more information. Are you noticing any changes as you're watching this?
You know, I hate to use the word safely. That's what they're doing. They're driving very safely, maintaining a decent speed with traffic. They're signaling. They're moving over. Give yourself up. We can make sure you're not harmed. Let's just end this now. So they've definitely tried to call him or her back, and hopefully they've definitely tried to call him or her back, and hopefully they're talking.
So one thing that we do want to point out, and we've been talking about this again, Josh Haskell here with Liz Nagy and Bruce Thomas. Bruce, our control room confirms there have been 3 failed spike strip attempts. It doesn't appear like the tires on the Subaru have been impacted at all. We have not seen any signs of that. Of course, we don't know for sure, but we have seen 3 separate.
Milkman says if that was in Georgia, they would have ran his ass off the road. Oh, big up. Big Blazer MT in the house got 5 on it. Poncho Zorch has 5 on it as well. Who else got 5 on it? I got 5. You got 5? Let's get it.
Five lanes of traffic. So you really can't deploy it in the middle. So you have to deploy it on either the fast lane side or the slow lane side. And then you kind of have to funnel the driver toward that spike strip because they have multiple lanes to evade it. So this creates just huge problems for CHP.
Also, Bruce, I just want to point out that we're at 6:53 now. Sunset is set for 7:17. So we're coming into a time of day where the light is going to start.
And you know what I was thinking? Since I was really touched by that mauling of that lady, and I really felt bad for that family. They mentioned they have a GoFundMe, and I believe it's on that newsreel. So we didn't play the newsreel. We just pulled up the YouTube the channel that posted it. I believe it was Fox 26 or something like that. We could help out, and maybe some of the latest super chats and stuff that we've gotten. We're gonna break some bread over there with that family. So I'll look into the GoFundMe and work everything out, and we'll make that happen. I think we can do that. That'd be cool. And that's thanks to y'all helping out like that. So I think that would be a good cause for that, since we brought that up tonight. All right, what are they saying now?
Ontario area. Now, Bruce, one thing I wanted to ask you about, now that we know that this suspect called the Ventura County Sheriff's Department himself and had what we're told is an extended conversation, that's something I imagine where investigators are able to learn something about this person's state of mind, which is huge in this investigation. Can you give us some insight on that?
Yeah, well, they've obviously, they were talking to him and finding out what he knows about this crime, how he's involved, his name, where he lives.
Christopher, are you on a little journey right now? If you are, safe travels. Yeah. That's nice for Easter. And is that wilderness cooking? Is that what you're up to? On a little trip? Sounds fun. Let's see. How do I find that info, Dwarf? About the GoFundMe. It was a newsreel that we showed earlier in the stream, and also Jessica Jones actually played the whole newsreel on her show last night. So you could either go check out her show, and which you were probably, I don't know if you were there or not. I don't remember seeing you, but maybe you were there last night. And yeah, they mentioned it there also, I think, or the newsreel, they mentioned it. And I think Jessica did mention that. But yeah, that's what you were thinking, Christopher. Oh. Yeah, so we're in for the long one, the long run on this one. Now, I think we're officially in Riverside, aren't we? Robin. Robin went to go check outside, probably. I've been listening. I had to leave chat to cook supper, so hi, anyone I missed. No worries, Lori Lad. What's for dinner? Chat's pretty hungry usually. Oh, that's cool. My brother's checking it out through he's checking out our stream through the monitors. Yeah, I mentioned we got a couple monitors. Actually, the homie who came and donated them just stopped by right now. And so we've been using these monitors, and they're facing towards the shop. So if people come in, yeah, they could look at the live show, me and whatever, the studio back here. But then they can't see like the speed chase or when we're pulling up videos or the maps or whatever tabs. But now they could with the monitors facing out, and it's actually 2 monitors. You could split them up to, put them however you like. It's pretty cool. Some more eye candy for the shop, or eyesore for the shop. All right, luckily we have a little coconut water here. But at this point, man, I could go take a break, come back if need be. Yeah, it's weird. It's like these chases, they always plan ahead of time. Like, make sure we have a full tank of gas, because you never know when it'll be time. I always joke around that I would not make it far. Yeah, usually gas would be the issue. Oh, man. And I'm not going to cut the chase. At this point, sometimes I worry about the chat. Like, oh my God, the chat. They're suffering because it's a long chase. And then I'll cut the stream, and then boom, something major happens. It's like, darn. Should have kept the stream going. And there's been several moments. I think I've been streaming for about a year now. Still haven't figured it all out. Still learning, still messing up, but it's all good. And this is good streaming hours. Get that practice in. And yeah, learning to remember things is a tough one. Like I got to remember, we got to pull up the Eagle Cam before we jet, y'all. We could probably pull up the Eagle Cam. Let's pull it up now, because unless something serious about to happen. But I think at this point, we could pull up the Eagle Cam, check it out for a bit, and hop back into the chase. It'll probably still be going on. That's what Dwarfy thinks. But with my luck, something will probably happen between that, right? Darn, I thought we spiked this car already. Maya Starfire, what is going on? I was hanging out on Hirsch. Oh, look at this view. We got some mappage, and actually gives you the view of the chopper as well. That was cool. I like the other one where they actually lay the grid on the actual video. And if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit, says Blazer. Old Johnny Cochran saying, huh? Eagle is a good totem for this channel. Right on. Yeah, we'll get the Eagle Cam going. We got new eaglets born to Southern California. The Big Bear Eagles have laid another, what do you say, another round, another batch. I seen they used a particular word too for Jackie, the mama, to lay her eggs. I forget the exact word. What is it that they use for that? But anyway, she did a second round because her first couple of eggs were, I guess, eaten up by crows. Damn crows. And so now two of them have hatched officially. One hatched last night at 9:30 p.m. And the other one, I guess, is officially hatched. Officially fishy hatched sometime this morning. And my brother and I did get a little peek at them. But for the most part, they've been chilling nice and warm under moms, I'm sure. Nicely incubated under there. And I'm sure the parents are keeping an extra eye on their little hatchlings. Chris says, you always got a bird eye view of the vehicles, and like them, maps on the Bigfoot sightings, like watching from afar, like an eagle does. Yeah, man, right on. And you know, we were discussing also earlier, we'll bring it up again, about the quality of reports, you know, vetting certain things out. How do we get the real reports? We mentioned Harryman Road featured his channel. He was discussing that in a video today, and he has a new website coming up, he mentioned, where there's going to be some good hard data. Maybe we'll have to pay for that. I don't know if it'll be free to the public. No information on that yet. And hopefully, who knows? Well, I'll ask him, you know, if we could use it like we've been using these other maps in databases. And even if he says no, it's all good. You know, if we got to pay for that stuff, I'm willing to pay. I became part of his Patreon. And there's Juliana McGill. Ravens get a lamb every year. Savages, darn, straight from your farm. What? And Juliana, we mentioned you earlier today. We had Bat Mom hanging out in the chat. Here we go. Let's see. Is something happening here? We read some Bigfoot reports earlier, Juliana, and we tried summoning you, so it took a little bit. And here we are exiting. Are we exiting to another freeway? Are we exiting? Yep, looks like 215 north. So where are we going? It's like several interchanges here. Where are we pulling over? Uh-oh. Nope, that was someone else. Got a customer, bro? And we'll see what's going to happen here. Heads up, viewer discretion be advised. Looks like we hopped onto another freeway. And let's get a little audio going here. 1 second.
With that urgency to pass vehicles or do unsafe maneuvers. So it kind of works in law enforcement's favor. However, you know, with the advent of the sun going down, it's a dark colored vehicle. You know, having a helicopter with the night sun overhead, that does create some other issues for law enforcement.
We know the vehicle's not too far from Cal State University, San Bernardino, when that vehicle changed from the 210 to the 215, passing downtown San Bernardino, now heading north on the 215 towards Devore, not too far from the well-known Glen Helen Amphitheater. And I wanted to ask you about those 3 failed spike strip attempts. Bruce, is that pretty common that is something that would happen, be deployed on a freeway pursuit? And is it usually successful? Obviously, this time it was not.
You know, it's kind of a hit and miss with a spike strip. They're only so long in length, and you know, about 9 feet or so. So you're trying to cover multiple lanes. The suspect could stay in the number, 2 fast lane.
3 missed spike strip deploys Bummer. Whoa. Well, strike 3 and you're out, right? So you got to change the tactic at that point. Do we go to pit maneuver? What's going on? So yeah, Juliana, earlier we were mentioning Ron Moorhead, several figures in the Bigfoot community. I thought it was an interesting chat. And again, no shade to anyone, no trashing anybody or anything. We just want the truth. Like Juliana told me one of the last streams towards the end, keep it real, 100. And yeah, we got to do the best we can. And so yeah, we were talking about some stuff, and we mentioned Ron Moorhead living in Fortuna, California. I don't know if you knew about that. I was surprised when I heard. And yeah, we were talking about how he had spent some time there. And but Bat Mom shared that she actually grew up there and spent a lot of time and had a lot of weird stuff happen. And then of course you came to mind, and we mentioned you, and here you are now. So thank you, Juliana, for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and all of you as well. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Hopefully you had a good Easter or a good weekend if you celebrate the holiday. And again, folks, we will be open on 4/20. Yep. Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop open at 4/20. Yeah, we're open at 4:20. We close at 7, open at 10:30. But on 4/20, we will be open, folks. Discounts on selected items and a possible event. Learning how to use the megaphone again. I gotta stand back. Maya Starfire had a cool show the other night. Interesting guest from Hawaii. That was a trippy show, but I was hanging out and feeling the vibes. It was like Juliana. It was total Humboldt County hippie vibes. One love. Yeah, it was a lovely show. Good peaceful vibes, and yeah, stuck around for that one. That was cool. And again, thank you again, Maya, for we've been chatting behind the scenes and we've been working on some stuff. So thank you for what you've been doing, and hopefully you've been enjoying the weekend. Do people get tomorrow off also? What's going on? I know kids are on spring break. People got tomorrow off? What's going on? Well, we got the day off, right? Yeah. Yes, we get the day off. Will we stream tomorrow? Hopefully. I know you're getting a big old dose now. We streamed yesterday, and a lot of times we could stream daily, but we don't. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. It's like, maybe people don't want to see that. Specials aisle 420. Specials aisle 420. Oh, I know. Let's see, Humboldt. I remember up in Humboldt, we used to get together over at Redwood Park, right? Go have a smoke out there for 420. I don't know if they still do that, but I know there's no more Halloween parties in Arcata, downtown Arcata. I think we talked about that. There was one year someone jumped onto the statue of old McKinley at the Arcata Plaza, and this dude, I think he was naked and started or he might have been, I don't know, might have been half naked or something, and started dry humping McKinley. Oh no, it was over. Arcata said no more after that. It was a done deal. What, right? And then they moved the McKinley statue over to McKinleyville, where I think it should have been in the beginning, but who knows? Am I wrong, people of Humboldt County, California? Yes, Maya Starfire 420 in Humboldt. We're epic back in the day. Elder Medicine Bear Claw sings to you. And guess what? Some of your help is I think we're planning on helping some other folks. And so you've been really helping out lately. And so I will fill you in. I don't know if you caught that earlier, but we're going to plan on doing something to help out some folks we were talking about earlier today. Let's see. Are we buffering? Every day we're buffering. Were we buffering? I'm not sure. Juliana says, I had 2 horses named Maya. My first horse and other I still cherish. You're not from Humboldt if you never went to Arcata Forest on 420. He was streaking. Yeah, the guy. Don't. Oh, my. Oh, gosh. Ragman Pete is the Plaza legend. Oh, I don't know if I know Ragman Pete, but I know several of, and it's some people, maybe it's not a nice term. Some people will say plazoids, but no, I got some homies on the Plaza, and some of them I probably shouldn't have been hanging out with, but no, I would chill with, hook them up. Sometimes some of those dudes needed a little help. I would help them out, And it's good, it's a good source of information from those guys as well. You never give me the lowdown on what's going on in town. It's like I just got off the hill. What's popping here? Anyway, what up, Diesel? I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. Felt good to be out there in the rain. That song sounds familiar. What up, D? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're feeling well and are healing well, bro. Make sure you follow what you need to do and that you heal up soon. And yeah, we need you back out in the field ASAP. But Diesel's still been dropping videos, bro, right? Yeah. Diesel don't stop. Hence the name. Bro, Ragman Pete is legend. Google it. Oh, man. So if I see him, I probably know who it is. Let's see. Try to think of some characters you might know. Yes, I've hung out at Juliana's neighbors. That's serious talk, folks. Haven't hung out at Juliana's yet. That'll be next. Next time, I'm not going to the neighbors. I'm hanging out at Juliana's. Oh, man. How did I end up there? Never know where I've been. Especially in Humboldt County. Tire Gone says, oh, here we go. We're getting some action here, folks. We got a tire missing. Let's get some audio going right quick.
So what's going on here? I mean, does CHP know that this is going to be their moment soon, trying to give this some distance, and the driver will ultimately meet his fate pretty soon?
Yeah, very much so. Right now, all the units are talking to each other. You have a field supervisor, hopefully, in this pursuit, which is going to explain to the units what he or she wants them to do, meaning how to fan out over the freeway, who's going to do the traffic brake, etc. But it looks like from Air 7 HD's vantage point, it's the front left driver's side tire. And I don't know if that's what you guys are seeing also.
That appears to be what we're looking at as well, yes.
And it did look from Air 7 that the tire did come off the
Fully,
car.
right.
But then when we zoomed in on the front left tire, there was still at least part of it still on the vehicle. And at this point, I know, Bruce, you pointed out you're not a Subaru expert, but you've covered enough of these pursuits. It does seem like at this point we would see sparks, but we have not seen any sort of sparks. Could that be because the car's not seen any sort of sparks? Could that be because the car's just not going very fast, or there's still enough rubber to protect that axle?
Very much so. It could be because there's still some rubber on that tire and the rim area, and because they're all-wheel drive, it's not powering the vehicle. So, but eventually you're going to run that rubber down, and you are going to see them riding on the rim, and you will see sparks eventually. But right now, not so much.
All right, on the right side of your screen right there, for viewers who may not have been watching when this happened, this was just a few minutes ago when CHP attempted that spike strip. We saw the car go off the road right there on the shoulder. That was likely when the car may have clipped the spike strip, attempted to avoid it, and may not have been able to do so. Got on the left side of this tractor trailer to pass it. And just a few minutes later, you'll see here in just a minute, that's when we watched the tire come rolling off that vehicle at somewhat of a high rate of speed. Now, this driver has been going in the 60-some mile an hour range for most of this pursuit that began well up into Ventura County, all the way through Los Angeles County and deep into San Bernardino County at this point. Bruce, one other thing I noticed just a minute ago when you and Josh were speaking is that the driver rolled down the window for a moment. We were able to get a better glimpse inside the window, but then for some reason rolled the window right back up. So you get a better glimpse inside the window, but then for some reason rolled the window right back up. So it didn't last long enough to really see if there was anything that was thrown out of the vehicle. I didn't see that happen, but we are starting to see a few changes in behavior from this person, probably at least 120 miles.
He got locks, huh? Uh-oh. And they rival mine? Whoa. I gotta see. I gotta know who this is. I must know who this is.
Anyway, so yeah, we have seen that, and hopefully the suspect is.
I just tried looking for the control for my brother so we could pull the chase up on the big screen, but looks like we lost it. Uh-oh. Well, he has his phone, so he could pull it up also, but
not too far from Victorville. We'll have to see if this vehicle does stay on the 15 freeway and does head towards Victorville. But we can tell you in the video that we just showed you that that fourth attempt by the California Highway Patrol spike strip attempt was successful. That front left driver's side tire is flat at this point. That has significantly reduced the speed at which the Subaru is traveling. I don't know if we can bring up this current speed right now. This pursuit at times had reached 80, 90, but really has been in the 60, 70, not a super fast pursuit. The driver staying in the middle. And right now, I have to imagine that this is the slowest the vehicle has traveled. I don't know if we can pull up how fast it's going right now, but it looks to me, Liz, I don't know, 40 miles per hour, 50?
Yeah, it's difficult to tell because there are no other cars on the roads.
50 miles per hour,
Yeah.
50?
good evening to you, Patrick Noble. Good to see you here, brother. We did read some Bigfoot reports. If you're just coming in, anyone just coming in, we did do some Bigfoot reports earlier. We talked a little Dogman, Bigfoot. Whoa, there's a tire rolling on the highway there. What the hell? Was that from earlier? Whoa, I missed that one. So now we're really rolling on chrome. Oh, geez. We should be having sparks here in a bit. And so, yes, Patrick Noble, anyone just coming in. And Patrick Noble did help out recently as well. So much respect, much love to you, Patrick Noble. And we were talking about doing something special with some of that help we've been receiving from everyone lately and doing something cool with it. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, let's get another update.
Person was wanted for attempted murder, and
we can't be going that much longer now with just like we're down to what, 2 tires or something. No sparks yet. Let's find this control. 1 sec.
clarify that this person was wanted in connection to an attempted murder. Now, we don't know any more about that situation, an attempted murder against who or how this may have been involved, what happened. What we also still don't know here is if there's anybody else in this vehicle. We've not seen any signs of a passenger or anybody in the back seat. We haven't seen the back windows roll down at any point. We just know that police have tried 4 different times to use spike strips to stop this driver, and only one, that very last one, was somewhat successful. But this car has to have driven maybe 20 miles or so, Josh, would you say, since that spike strip attempt?
Yeah,
or they may just be very content to let, or they may just be very content from apart. I'm not sure from apart. I'm not sure these are run flat tires or what they have, but we definitely saw a good chunk of this tire go off the rim. So it's just a matter of waiting to see what happens now.
And as the light begins to change, does this, and this stretches on into its second hour, does this become an advantage for law enforcement, or does this become an advantage for the driver here?
I think we got a gremlin up in the shop. Took the control. Yeah, usually the control's somewhere. There's specific places we leave it. Yeah, don't go crazy looking for it. And all of a sudden it's gone. Uh-oh. We're gonna have to burn some sage up in here or something. No problem. You have a good rest of your evening, Elder Medicine Bear Claw. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for your support again. Remember, your support is greatly appreciated. They didn't plan well if they have to get out and run it either uphill or across oncoming traffic. What's up, David? Ask him, can we try shooting the tires? Oof, right? Yeah, gremlins on the loose, Maya. Man, this guy's in Victorville now. We are going for a hell of a ride. Y'all are getting to see, look at the oncoming traffic, or the opposite side of the traffic. And that's probably due to the chase, I would imagine. But yeah, from I don't know what county would that be. Victorville, is that San Bernardino, or does that like probably turn into like Kern County, San Bernardino? Is it Riverside? It's got to be one of those 3, I would imagine. And going out into the desert, and started in Ventura. Not exactly sure what part of Ventura, but that's a lot of driving. You don't feed it after midnight, right? Just add water. Thank you. We're honored also to be in your presence, Elder Medicine Bear Claw. Blessings to you. Got somebody here, bro? We got a customer. Let's see. And we're doing overtime, actually. We're well past we usually close at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. I would have been out by now. But bro's been doing these overtime nights. And since it's Easter or whatever, holiday, I was like, why not hang out, bro, for a little bit at the shop? Why not hang out with y'all for a little bit? So thank you again for hanging out. And again, live speed chase, Southern California. Man, we're going on 2.5 hours here. I think we're on our longest stream ever. Hopefully they notify the rest of my subscribers. Come on, YouTube. Let's see. San Bernardino heading north, says Robin N. Thank you for that. If you were really dialed, you would make sure you pinned both his doors, says Juliana. All right, we got 28 up in the chat. What's up, everybody? Is that Wildman? We got Wildman up in here? No. He's probably lurking. and they're keeping their distance still. So I don't know if they got new information on. I mean, at this point, with the 2 tires down and or however many tires, 2 rims, you'd think they would go for this. They have the whole freeway to themselves. You would think they'd go in for the pit maneuver now, right? I mean, the spike didn't work. 3 strikes. We struck out with that deal there. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if shooting I mean, we ain't got no tires to shoot out. I think there's 2 left. But yeah, someone mentioned that option. 1 light on. Looks like 1 high beam on. And do you subscribe to Diesel in New Jersey? I do. I think Diesel might have some of the most footwork hours out there. Always out in the field somewhere. Scooby Dooby Doo. That's what I call a Subaru in Humboldt. Oh my goodness. All right, the 2 cliche cars in Humboldt. I mean, I don't know if it still is, right? But it was the Subarus and the Toyota Tacomas. Am I wrong or am I right, Julia? Anybody from Humboldt County? Main House 25 up in the house from Maine. The American one coming in hot with the 420 there. Much appreciated. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to shake my tail feather here in a second. Uh-oh. Much appreciated. The American one. And the American one, if you stick around, I'm reminding myself again, we must pull up the Eagles, the live Big Bear Eagle Cam. We have 2 new eaglets into the world, and we are excited. Yeah, last year, remember, we streamed it last year. We got to see, actually, she laid 3 eggs, Jackie. So it's Jackie, the mother eagle, and the father is named Shadow. And then it was Gizmo, and what was the other little rascal? I forget the name of the other one. Gizmo, and it'll come to me, but hopefully. And then the 3rd one didn't make it, and we seen that. It was super sad. We were streaming it, and we noticed one of the little eaglets off to the side, and it had snowed pretty heavy that past week. And yeah, it wasn't moving. So it was a sad sight. But 2 of them made it that time. And who knows? They're probably flying around SoCal somewhere right now, doing their thing. And so now this year, she returned back to her nest. And this is the nest she was actually born in, which is pretty cool. And what was interesting, it got pretty weird because after the eaglets were born, the last round from last year, so 2 of them made it. Soon after, we heard that there was, I guess, a thing where they wanted to develop some homes right in that area of Big Bear, and they wanted to knock down that tree where Jackie was born, and all these little eaglets are being born. So, yeah, that was like, hold up, dude, what the? Oh, look at all these units ganging up. They're going in for the pit maneuver. Something's going on here. What? All of a sudden, they're ganging up. Bro, it's on ABC. Oh, all right. Bro got it on TV. So bro is watching now on the big screen at the shop. And it looks like a caravan here. Yeah, I've seen those up in Humboldt County too. You got to do the hood whistle. Let everybody know, hey, caravan. And it's funny, the homie just pulled into the shop on a little, what size is that? It's a Pee-wee 50, a little Pee-wee Honda dirt bike, and he pulls it in all the way into the shop. It's hilarious. Man, I always wanted a Pee-wee dirt bike. Gonna get me a dirt bike one day. But yeah, all of a sudden they started caravanning there. I don't know if it changed from county maybe, or all of a sudden maybe they have a plan. So they're in the Victorville, Hesperia area. Wonder if yes, and that's why maybe they have been backing off and maybe not going in for the full pit maneuver. OJ parade on Easter Day, says Midwest Night Watchers. And again, if you're new to the channel or new to the stream, welcome in. There's a lot of good channels up in the chat right now, content creators and artists and stuff. Man, a lot of cool people here, people who could read your vibes. Feel free. Maya Starfire, post your channel. Post a link if you'd like. If you want to share your channel, get it out there. Maybe some of our folks here will dig what you got going on over there and be happy that they found your channel. Yeah, why not? We'd love to help people grow. And yeah, we like, all right, brother, one love, man. Yeah. We like to watch our friends grow. Right, Diesel? What was that? Diesel had posted a funny one. Oh, man, that was something along those lines, like those words I just said, but it was twisted up, and it was actually someone had written it in graffiti. That gave me a chuckle. Had to give Diesel a thumb up. And Diesel, I trip out on how your posts, Diesel shares a lot of pictures, too, from his Bigfooting expeditions or squatching hikes, however you like to put it. And his posts, actually, you get a lot of good feedback on your posts, bro. I'm thinking, like, why aren't these people hitting the thumbs up on your videos? We need those thumbs up on Diesel's videos as well. And Diesel, did you hit 3K, brother? Because we know you were really close recently. And look, they're spotlighting them with the ghetto bird there. Hopefully Diesel is getting closer or hit his 3K already. And anyone getting close to a number like that, maybe you're getting close to 1,000 or a few thousand and you need a few subscribers, let us know. We'd like to support here one another. And we do, for the most part, like if you're putting out good content and stuff, I'm going to be watching your stuff. I'm going to be clicking that thumbs up. I'm going to be making sure that I'm subscribed to your channel and following and sharing the stuff. Especially if it's along the stuff that we're into, whatever it may be, maybe some current information, some current happenings. And Dina P, there you are, Dina P. So I have quit TikTok. I accidentally jumped on the other day. I hit the app by accident, and I have not deleted it yet, and I probably have to delete it. But I have not been over there, Dina P. So I miss you. And I know I've probably been missing messages from a lot of people. And forgive me for that. But yeah, ever since the changes that were made over on TikTok, I just got word that, hey, be careful using that app now, for real. So I just stopped using it. But I haven't deleted it. So if I hear, I'm going to do a little more investigating on what the changes have been over on TikTok and stuff. But I did hear that they have pretty much full control of any of your posts. And I guess, and I wasn't making money over there at all. That wasn't my thing. It was just another outlet to share my stuff. Hey, if we made money, cool. But it never happened. But I heard the people that were making money, that there were some monetary changes and a lot of people were upset and stuff. So people were upset with the changes and a lot of people left. So, all right. Right on, Juliana. I think you're going to love Diesel's channel. And Diesel goes out with his queen, which is super cool. I love seeing the couples that go out because I know Bigfoot, anything, right? Could be anything we're passionate about, and if we're with a partner, we got to share time, right? Share our time with what our passions are, share our time with our family. And so in the Bigfoot world, it's been brought up, with the four horsemen, like Rene Dahinden, we hear about him losing his family, and dedicating himself all to Bigfoot. And, he never had a sighting. And, that's from what I've heard. And there's stuff like that. We've heard of stuff like that. And I've even experienced stuff like that, in my relationship, to where, you want to be out in the field doing something, or maybe you want to be online doing something, and you're really supposed to be doing something else, and the partner's letting you know, and, things happen. And so I could see how that could tear, even on a more, how would you say, on a different level. If the situation is really bad, then it could really, it could tear family apart, relationships apart. And we've heard just stuff like that. And so, yeah. But anyway, Diesel is one of those, I call them power couples. There's several power couples out there. Like Hellbent Holler is another one. What's another power couple that, and I'm going to be, Gerald and Jane. They're another, online power couple, and they get out, they do their thing, and they share their time, and they stream. So you got to ask these folks how they do it. How do you keep the partner happy while doing what you love? What up, Andrew? Brother Andrew up in the house. And Andrew's saying, if I had a dash cam, I would probably catch more. Oh, yeah, bro. Yes. No, we got it. And I have a couple of dash cams. I don't have them set them up. I don't have them set up. I should set them up. And I was trying to kick myself at the same time. Just because, I don't know. One of them is, I want to get a better quality one. Because the ones I have they're all right. And I should still use them because they work. But I do want a better quality camera just to have rolling all the time. But then again, I would be catching a whole bunch of stuff here too. And then there's certain stuff that you might not want to catch. We've talked about doing a stream here from the shop. Maybe we could put it on the roof, aim it towards downtown, or maybe like at the cross main streets here. But things happen here sometimes that maybe you don't want to actually record. So yeah, we've thought about that. Yeah, thank you, everyone. I work with my husband every day. He's not driving truck. We're going on 20 years. Wow. But every so often, Juliana does sit him in the corner. That's awesome. I get sad all day and pouty when he's not around. Yep. And that's how I was too when I was up there, living and working at home and with the queen all day. And then, sometimes, we'd need our breaks. Yeah, sure. I'll go water those things, or I'll go take the compost out. Now, whatever it would be, I'd have my little space, but whatever. It was the best though, working with your partner, and especially when things are working and working out for the good. And yes, there's those rough times too, man. If you could make it through that, props to you. And Diesel says, last few times out, I've been using Panasonic HC VX1M 4K. Yes. And I believe that was a new gift. Was it gifted to you? I remember you did get gifted a camera a while back. Big up to CB in Colorado. Blessed Diesel with his camera. Yes. But I think Diesel got a new camera, and I need to step up and get a new camera too, bro. Something like that. I mean, I won't get the exact same one you did, but something, a camcorder, handheld, good quality. And we will be doing that. I did score an old Canon. It's a Canon, but it's what is it? Forget the model. It's right here. And I did use it at Bluff Creek this time, and the footage was just all over the place. It's very and it's probably because I don't know how to use the camera. I don't know how to use cameras. Phone camera, yeah, for the most part, a little bit. You know, there's a lot of cool features you could do with the phone camera as well that I'm still learning and stuff. And I want to get some accessories also. I know Beast Grip. If you check out Beast Grip, if you have an iPhone, I think they make stuff for Android as well. They have a lot of cool stuff that you could attach to actually have. It's like pretty much a pro setup. You look like, if you get all their accessories, you look like a pretty much a pro of film filmmaker, man. It's amazing some of the stuff they have. And Mark sent me one a few years ago. Then I just upgraded. Yep. And that's what I meant. CB, Colorado Bigfoot. And it's crazy, bro, because, you know, we bring up names and I'm telling you, it's like war. Someone will be like, who? What? And Bigfoot Mania 2026 continues. You know, I've never had a problem with Mark, and Mark has helped me out a lot. And I've heard, you know, people have had their opinions about him and say a lot of things. And I get it. I get it. You know, Mark is Mark. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But man, if you check him out, if you go for the information, like, you know, there's certain information that he puts out that I think is legit. It's you know, good information. And I've taken that into the field and it's worked for me. And yeah, he's just on another level, man, of stuff. And not everyone is there. And some of the stuff is questionable too. I'll bring that up. I'll mention it. You know, sometimes he zooms in and cuts out. It's like, whoa, what happened there? Or, you know, but then there's stuff that Diesel has found on his videos. And I remember seeing one of his videos one time. And at the time, I didn't have the know-how on how to like even screenshot and stuff like that. But there was a weird, and I want to say it was a black figure, and this figure was very Squatch-like, and it just seeped into the ground. That's what it looked like, and I replayed it, and I did timestamp them, and so it's in the comments of that video. This is years back, but it was weird. Getting into the darkness of the evening, and this is still going. Jeez. You know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to switch some gears really quick. Really quick. All right. We're going to get into some quick breaking news. So we're going to break from the breaking news to some other breaking news while we're at it, because I do not want to forget this. And here we go. Let's see. Here it is. We're going to open this up a little more and get some audio going.
A second eaglet has emerged in Big Bear.
Jackie and Shadow are now the proud parents of 2 chicks. The second one just hatched about an hour roughly ago. The Friends of Big Bear Valley camera captured the very cute scene this morning. The chick joins its sibling, who's been moving around the nest this morning, getting fed, and this eaglet is just a day old.
And unbelievable. What a fun Easter weekend for the family up there in Big Bear. Let's take a live look from Big Bear Lake this Easter morning. A little bit of activity there, moving around as we monitor the eagle's nest there. Whether that's Jackie or Shadow, has kind of moved out of the way a little bit earlier, but seems to be kind of huddling close over those 2 little eaglets this morning.
And it feels like Jackie and Shadow, their eggs hatching. Yeah. It was perfect timing, first of all, for Easter Sunday. Perfect. But also, I mean, this was happening in very warm temperatures. Yes. And it's something different that we've seen from other years.
Yeah, last year, totally different scenario. A whole month earlier than what we're seeing now. They were born in March. Now it's April, almost an exact month earlier. The pipping last year was March 3rd, 4th, and 8th. They had 3 eaglets.
That's the word I was looking for. I don't know if anyone had put that in the chat, but it's pipping. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, and I had forgotten. But yeah, pipping. So is that when they lay the eggs?
And then snow came in March 5th and 6th, if you can believe that. And then the 13th and 14th. Unfortunately, the 14th is when they lost one of their eaglets. Now, compare it to this year, 2026, that pipping happening April 4th and 5th today. That's 1 month later than what we saw just last year. And now we're looking at warmer conditions. But you guys, we do have some snow flurries potentially coming in for us late Friday into Saturday morning. That doesn't mean doomsday for the eaglets, but we are going to see much colder conditions by then. And hopefully they'll stay nice and warm in their nest.
All right. So that was the eagle update there. And here they are. This is live. There's Jackie. I don't know. Where's Pops at? Where's Shadow? So does Pops sleep on it? Does he have to sleep somewhere else, or does he get to sleep in the nest as well? How does that work for the parents of the eaglets? So it's just mom keeping them warm, incubating and feeding them and making sure they're all comfortable, and Pops just maybe brings mom some dinner. Mom breaks it down and feeds them. How does it work? Let's see, CHP. So we can't see the eaglets now, but we did get to check in on them live. And maybe later on the next stream, we'll take a look, and maybe we get a little live peek at the new eaglets. And now we're gonna head back to the chase. And let's get an update here.
How it comes to fruition, and really what was this person really wanted for, and was it good information that the law enforcement agencies had on this person, and basically what are we chasing?
Yeah, and we can tell you that from Victorville to Bar.
I think we're chasing our tails here at this point. Yeah, the milkman had mentioned earlier that in Georgia they would have ran you off the road, and I've heard about that in several states out that way, that they don't play. They'll just go Dukes and Hazard on that ass and hem your ass up. William Nighthawk, salute to you, brother. Good to see you. Welcome on in. And man, we're gonna keep this going till it ends at this point. Look, we got a new vehicle here. Did we change vehicles? What's going on here, folks? Looks like a second vehicle getting involved here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's got backup. We have seen some wild stuff happen in the past. Switching of vehicles, ditching of vehicles. And now we're way out in the desert now. If you look on the side of the roads there, you can see it's like nothing. She's gonna use what on Wendell? Someone gonna 911 Wendell? What's going on? Again, folks, William Nighthawk, brother, let us know where to find you. How can we find your channel? Do you have any links? Did you go live this morning? I believe you go live on Sunday mornings, right? And usually when you go live, brother, I gotta drive here to work. So I missed those. But hey, you could always go back and watch the replays, folks. William Nighthawk also gets into the bizarre, strange, and I love to hear it from a Native American, their point of view, their perspective of things, and I love to learn about their beliefs and their teachings and stuff, because a lot of that gets dismissed a lot of time. I was talking to my brother earlier just about what we had discussed tonight on the stream about the Dogman situation, Bigfoot and all that, and my brother had some powerful stuff to say, man. I'm telling you, I got to get him on here. And yeah, he's always, we talk about, also we bring up the warped perception of people's thinking, because everyone's got a little warpage in their perception, right? But man, some are just so far out, and just so much going on right now. Just a lot of I do watch like truth seekers on YouTube, and he focuses on a lot of the UFO stuff, a lot of the hoaxing and the fake stuff going on over there. He pulls cards with receipts, and it's just interesting to see the connections and all the stuff that goes on in that world. And a lot of that is the same here. I'm surprised he hasn't jumped into the Bigfoot arena. I'm sure he's probably called out some people, and he did point out about the whole Patterson situation. He thinks it's fake, but whatever, that's his opinion. But yeah, he really goes at it with that whole arena, and it's interesting. And it's not to like, oh yeah, like because he could get funny. He gets funny, he says stuff, and some of it people may find very offensive, but I'm there for the information. Like, I want to know some of the stuff he's been digging up, and when you get into this stuff, it's just, some of it's pretty mind-blowing. And so I see, and I'm listening, and hopefully you are too, folks. I don't want we don't want any of us to be led down a wrong path. We're all seeking for truth. At least I think on this channel, I think most of us are. I see a lot of you on some of the same channels I rock with or check out. And just because I'm on a certain channel either doesn't mean I agree with everything that they're putting out there. A lot of times I try to express my opinion also when I don't feel something. Like if I'm not feeling something, I'll say something. And then there's also, situations where, you shouldn't say anything or whatever. And that happens a whole lot too. So only 4 or 5 CHP units following now. Yeah, the others went on break. There might have been some last minute things to do. Maybe they I wouldn't be surprised, another chase popping off. Ooh, looks like the cops are pulling up here. Let's see, are they doing a U-turn, or are they going down the street? Or was that the cops? I just see in black and white. And actually, my eyes are pretty good. I'm sure you folks are pretty good out there too, when you like glance really quick and notice the black and white right away. Hey Steve, was that Babylon out there? Yep. Yeah, that was Babylon. Bobby Wrong. He's trying to run to the border. Yeah, well, I think he's running to the Nevada border. Looks like he might be. I thought he was he on the 215? What freeway are we on? For a moment there, I was like, dude, I think this dude's headed to Vegas or something. He might be. 100. Yep, there it is. 120 miles from Nevada border. So we're going to Vegas, folks. Get ready. Yeah. Where my gamblers at? Could stop at the Alien Jerky. Get some is that the Lizard Alien Police Department chasing him? LOL, LAPD. I didn't say that. That's this brother in the chat. It's all good. No, we know that. We know how they like to help Scientology a whole lot, and all the other scandals that have gone on. I remember the Rampart scandal. Ooh, that was crazy. Let's see here. Dude, the chopper light followed that guy exiting after helping. Wayne Newton. Man, I could go for some fig Newtons right now. Or just some figs. Oh, look at that. Are we ending the stream? Don't tell me it's over. Do not tell me they're ending this here. Come on, there's no. Oh, maybe they can't fly to Nevada. It's too far. They got to refuel. I think the choppers, they say, only have about 2 hours worth of flight time with the full tank. We'll be right back. We're going on a commercial break here, folks. All right, let's hop on over here. I guess, I don't know. I guess we should wrap this baby up. It looks like it's going to go on all night, and we ain't going to hold you up, but we are going to make it to the 3 hours at least, folks. Look at that. We're right there. About 5 more minutes. You can hang tight. If you haven't, smash the thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. If not, hit the thumbs down too. If you think it sucks and you think tonight's show sucks and you think what I do sucks and you don't like me or you don't like what we do or you don't like anybody up in the chat and just want to thumb it down, feel free. We accept that as well. That's what that option there is for. And again, if you, what's Dina P, what's she saying? If it was Florida, that car would be flipped over in flames. Oh my God. Yeah. What did we say about Florida earlier too? And it's all good because I feel like Florida is we're like Florida, but on the West Coast, and Florida is like California on the East Coast, you know, although it's way more tropical and yeah, a lot more bikinis and, you know, whatever. More cocaine being shipped. No, I don't know. Maybe we're being on the Mexican border here now. It's different, but yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. And I just seen a video with shout out Peter Santinello. Anyone check out Peter Santinello's YouTube channel? Huge. I love and I'll bring it up again. I love his series. Here we go. Breaking the record with Bigfoot Dwarf. Talking about things. No, there's always someone that doesn't get to listen. And so Peter Santinello did a awesome. I'm surprised he didn't go to Juliana's farm and do a video from there. He should go back and have Juliana give him the tour. But actually, some cool people did give him the tour. He did an episode on Humboldt County, 3 episodes, one in the Hoopa Reservation, which was awesome. They bring up Bigfoot, little people were talked about briefly. And it's super cool because Peter also seems to be into the old world. So he looks at architecture. He talks about the old world. And it's just amazing to see him travel and all the videos that he does. It's awesome stuff. I feel like I get to try. He takes me there. And so he's done several states. I think last he did Georgia, and then he's been in Florida. And man, it's been cool. I think the last video is like the last outlaws of Florida or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching this. And it was a cool watch. I think I seen that yesterday or the day before. Robin says Peter is cool. Yes, Florida definitely doesn't mess around. Yeah, no, and I get it. And I know other states also, and we don't mess around here either, but it's just the amount of accidents and incidences during the speed chases. I mentioned there's just this week, look up Southern California, 6 dead due to speed chases. It'll come up. So 6 people passed away this week due to speed chases. And again, I was explaining how those weren't televised. But you could find them on the news. Let's see. Rich Shot says Peter even went to, Peter came to East LA, and yeah, he was with one of the homies from you know where. And yeah, gangsta homie. So he got the East LA tour. And yeah, it took you all around these areas here. Super cool, man. And yeah, there's been some other really good ones. The Mount Shasta one was awesome, off the hook. And maybe someone will share Peter's channel in the chat. Arkansas, Florida don't play, Dita, says Andrew. And yeah, no, there's so many accidents and incidences have happened out here that they can't afford to, because now with anything happening, it's boom, the LAPD or whoever it is gets sued. And it's happened so many times. And over on Smoke and Scan's channel, who again is the king of the speed chases, and he's from out here, he'll bring that up too. He gets a lot of good information, a lot of good feedback of just the city and you know what's going on with the laws and everything like that. So I have tried to get Nick Shirley up here to Humboldt. I told him we won't let him down. Oh wow, yeah, no, we got to maybe take a do a poll and send it to him. I'll vote for that. I saw some Facebook shorts earlier about some Mexican food place and spaghetti place in Ontario. Ontario has been there since 1945. Yeah, and that's funny because we were talking about reading some Bigfoot reports out of Ontario, Canada, so that came up. But this is Ontario, California, which I believe Andrew's talking about. Ridshop says LAPD CHP been losing a lot of car chases. Yeah, no, they've been letting them go out here also, which is, it's crazy to think, right? And they recently also restricted more airspace around LAX, or Los Angeles International Airport, restricting LAPD from going into their space there. Now, before they were already, due to the flights and everything, right, restricted to the amount of space they could enter in that particular area. But as of late, seen it on the news, they restricted LAPD even more. So that was just, I think soon after that, we seen a speed chase and the dude went towards the airport. And, you know, they were already doing that. So I would imagine, you know, we're going to be seeing more of that. Heads up. Homeless situation back on the news out here. They did a whole thing on different areas in Southern California with homeless people living in the sewers. Yes, we've talked about it before also, that they were in parts of like the river, the LA river system, certain drainages that go into there. Wild stuff. And, you know, we're hearing more of that in different places, under Las Vegas, under New York, you know, there's like these whole sub world. And man, I've heard some stuff from actually some local people as well. There's some weird tunnels down the way. You know, there's a freeway. We got the 60 freeway right next to the shop here. And isn't it getting close to your bedtime, little brother? All right, William Nighthawk is going to end the live stream for us here. We're well past 3 hours. Look at that, 1 minute past the 3 hour mark. I'll shut the hell up. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Thank you, William. And haven't forgotten, I got something for you. All right, y'all. In your running head for the what? In your running head for the airport. Says Mikey. All right, let's get up out of here. Garrel says NBC said they're refueling. All right, so we are going to Vegas. William could stay wherever he is. We're gonna head to Vegas. Woo! Here we go. You're more than. We'll save a room for you, William. We'll be at the Aria. We'll have a suite at the top. Come join us. But yeah, no, let's get the hell out of here, folks. It's been 3 hours. California, says Robin. Let's see here. California has the highest homeless population. It is truly horrific. Yes. Alligators in the sewers. Yeah, they're not doing that in Florida. Huh? Oh man. Lori Ladd says Juliana, Oklahoma, full of boogers. I used to live in Tulsa. Great place, cool Art Deco buildings downtown. Just cool. Wow. So some old worlder stuff. And Andrew, let's see, Juliana says, damn, someone just scared me. They just came into the shop and I was like, whoa. Anyway, she's cool though. It is strategic, Robin. They are hoarding our resources and pushing out the backbone of society. Not all of us. I'm stubborn. Juliana, don't give up, girl. You're very inspiring. And Andrew says, it's sad Robin M. Kirk Douglas and his wife have a homeless building in their names. They donated money to the homeless. Yeah, we heard about even over at UCLA campus, they have been using a building there that was meant for the veterans are veterans, and they were using it for I don't know what the hell, but they recently fought it. There were some changes I think made. I think I don't know if the vets have gotten their place now, but for years. And we have vets out in the street, man. Like, what the hell is that about? UCLA. Chud. Ooh, that's scary. I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard about it, and I see the real thing daily. Bigfoot Dwarf 60 and 57 connect where I grew up in Diamond Bar. Yes, bro, you've shared that before too. And you know, Diamond Bar has been brought up. I think it was a documentary about SoCal Bigfoot and stuff. I've brought it up many times, but I think I don't know if that's a connection with the Knott's Berry Farm situation. Yeah, much love to you, brother Nighthawk. All right, we're gonna wrap this baby up. It's been 3. Well, so they're refueling. So if when I get home and the chase is still on and we're in Vegas or something, expect another live stream. This has been fun. Again, folks, don't feel any way. We're just asking questions. We want some truth. I could take some constructive criticism on how I do things, how I've done things. I'm learning. Man, so much to learn. And each one teach one, I think, is a way. And yeah, keep it real, like Juliana said. Keep it 100. Right? Diamond Bar, nice area. Is it still? All right, much love to you all. We are out of here. And I think we could. So I think I got to do it like this now. So now when I play these little videos, so that's so weird. I don't know why they did this, but I got to do it like this. Let's see. So stop sharing. Here's our outro. See, so it'll play it like that, but I got to put myself in a circle now. Whatever. Much love to you all. There it goes. All right. Peace, y'all.